No one is getting left behind this time.
What the is this?
No one is getting left behind. Not this time.
Stop it. Get some help.
Oh, you fascists bound to lose. You're bound to lose. You fascists bound to lose.
Kill me.
Hey there, all you fascists. Let me put you straight.
Kill me.
When you come for the rest of us, we'll fight you at the gate and you will lose. You fascists bound to lose.
Kill me!
In this world, there's two kinds of people, my friend. Those with loaded guns and those who dig. Broadcasting from a Montana wilderness fortress at the headwaters of the Missouri, this is Matt Christiansen Live.
Hello and welcome to the show. This is Matt Christiansen Live, a proud duct tape production for Wednesday, June 17th, 2026. Thank you for tuning in. Sitting shotgun tonight, subbing out of his usual Sunday seat and into a Wednesday seat this week is highly regarded author Matt Palumbo. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And he's not the hero Gotham needs. Batman is here as well. Welcome back.
We do it, folks.
Partner.
Well, in the news for discussion tonight, the pending Iran deal details are out. Most of this, to me, looks like a deal to make a deal. A lot of status quo, a lot of details to be determined later, but at least supposedly the Strait of Hormuz traffic will resume. So we have that to look forward to. We'll get into those details momentarily. As more information emerges about the Southern Poverty Law Center fraud case, it turns out one of those SPLC bosses was actually in bed with a Nazi, as in she was
Literally
the girlfriend of a Nazi informant guy who got like $1 million from the Southern Poverty Law Center, or so the Justice Department alleges. Over in the UK, the report on Parliament's investigation into grooming and rape gangs has been released. It is 200 pages on rape cases. So the summary is that sure is a lot of rapes, it sounds like, mostly by Pakistani Muslim guys over the last several decades. Get into that. And then the FBI foils an alleged plot to attack the UFC fight event at the White House on Sunday, this past Sunday. Apparently, one of the plotters' moms turned him in. So thanks a lot, Mom. I was having so much fun with my friends in the basement, and you had to ruin it all. But we'll get into all of those stories. We'll take calls, voicemails, emails. If you'd like to call the show live, you can do that through the Discord server linked in the description. There are instructions and help available on the server for you, courtesy of friendly producer Tim. If you'd like to leave a voicemail or a text message for the show, you can do that using the number in the description as well. Before we get into all of that, got to say hello to our featured listener-owned business for the evening. That's our friends at Elysium. Most of us use too many different apps just to stay organized. Tasks in one place, notes in another, habits somewhere else, and calendars everywhere. That frustration led listener and chatter of this show, Tortuga, to build Elysium. Elysium is an all-in-one productivity platform that brings goals, tasks, habits, events, reminders, notes, and project management all together in a single system. Core features are free for individuals with a local-first philosophy and human-readable files you control and can sync yourself. Optional cloud features add collaboration, shared workspaces, syncing, and team tools. Recent additions include customer and project intake forms that let clients submit work directly into your calendar. Smart scheduling preferences for automatic task placement, Sidewinder, a dedicated sidebar notes companion app, and optional AI support, including local AI that can work directly with your schedule files or connections to services like Claude or ChatGPT. Elysium is available now on Apple devices with Windows, Linux, and Android versions coming soon. Beta testers are currently being accepted with a limited number of spots available. Learn more at elysium.is. It is absolutely free to get started with Elysium, and you can use promo code MCListener for 10% off advanced features for life. That's promo code MCListener at elysium.is. Find all the information on all our special offers at mattchristiansenmedia.com/deals. Deals by listeners for listeners. Really quick personnel announcement. I mentioned it on Sunday. Say it once more since this is a Wednesday matter primarily, but our Canadian friend Mark Aaron will be away from the show until around August. Mark has some personal and professional things he needs to put his attention toward. We wish him well. We will see him soon. He's not banned from the show for being too Canadian, but I don't want to bury the lead any further. We have exciting news about just how highly regarded Matt Palumbo actually is.
Oh, God.
A new report from Insider New Jersey was just published. The Insider 100 list profiles and celebrates the younger aspiring movers and shakers in their communities, people whose efforts are building the future of the Garden State. Now, I know Matt already knows this.
Guess who's in first place? Not me.
Batman, do you have a guess? You actually know already, so never mind. I can't. Do you want to spoil who's number one, Batman?
The worst possible pick.
Or announce? It's not a spoiler. Who's number one on the most influential young New Jerseyan list, Batman?
I don't know.
You don't. We were just talking about. Oh, I guess you didn't realize the context in which it fit. LaMonica MacGyver.
What a disaster.
Right.
Yes, the hammer-punching LaMonica MacGyver, congresswoman from New Jersey, the most influential young New Jerseyan.
So that's first place. Guess who's last place?
There are 100 young New Jerseyans on the list. Scroll all the way down to the bottom.
All the way to the bottom.
I don't even... Oh, there he is.
He cut me off. I thought that was... And it's worse. It's worse than it looks, because if you scroll up, for some of them, there's 2 or 3 people per number. So it'll be like 90th place, and it'll be 2 names. So I'm actually like 120th out of 100, which is... I didn't even know that was possible.
Congratulations, butthead.
Now, I think Matt P was slighted since they put him in last place, 100 out of 100. But I think actually I was slighted a little bit. They mentioned your new podcast, but they don't mention the reason you're why are you so highly regarded? Is it really your books?
No book mention there either. What a jerk.
Exactly. And they didn't have the decency to say most highly famous regarded for making jokes about homosexuals and tantrums of color on Sunday nights on Matt Christiansen Live.
It's a whole side of me they don't know about.
So they really slighted you. They slighted me. I'm going to have to make a phone call or send an angry email to the publishers of Insider New Jersey.
Probably should.
Wouldn't be the first time I was omitted from a list.
What I think happened was I met the guy who owns this publication. We were on a podcast in May, and he was mentioning how they released this list every January, and he was 5 months behind. So I think what happened was he was just scrambling to add a few more names so we could finally release it, and it was like, who is that guy? Oh yeah, Matt, let's put him on.
We only have 99, and this is due tomorrow.
99, perfect. This guy I just met. I think that's probably what happened. Because the podcast I was on is the one he mentions there. So it's probably what happened.
Batman, your task is to get on the list of the 100 most influential Idahoans. Is that the word? And I want my show mentioned when you make that list, okay? That's your challenge. Got it?
Do they do that for every state? Or I've never even heard of this before.
Nobody's emailed me about this. First I've heard of it. Hey, speaking of gay jokes, of course, the AI slop channel on the MC Club Discord server is full of them and taking off. Now, on Sunday, I showed you Burn Bridges Brightly's abomination of the Matt and Matt kiss. I'm not going to show it to you again.
No, please, no.
Thankfully, there was rightful backlash and outrage to that moment. The subject matter in the AI slop channel on the Discord server has now corrected course. So we now have the 2 Matts fighting like men, proper men.
I am completely sick and tired of your face. Oh, you are dead.
Okay, that one's from Jamie Clay, longtime supporter who used to do the AI face swap bits, the old movie review segment. Voices obviously don't match yet, but maybe that's something that is coming, and the animation's pretty good. Now, maybe we need to get more masculine still. We're going to settle our differences Old West style with a duel, or maybe Matrix style. I don't know why the tutus. And I guess we're shooting blanks because it was all misses at point blank range. Okay. Now, since I think Burn Bridges rightly felt bad about tarnishing my reputation and image with that kiss scene, and Matt's too, he restored my honor with these expressionist style paintings. And this is what I would look like in mid 19th century London, I think. And seriously speaking, I actually really like this art style. I think it's really cool. I wish there was something I could do with it. I don't know exactly what I can do with it, but I feel like I need to wear more suits now. You know, I would have made an excellent Civil War general or something like that. I don't know, but cool style there. All right. And last entry in the slop, no matter how respectable and highly regarded this show tries to get, maybe next year we'll get up to, Matt P will get up to 95 on the most influential.
Oh, easily. Maybe 91.
New Jerseyans list. It's always going to be lowbrow and gay, and I'm not going to pretend like it's not. So listener Dave has sent another AI song. Now recall listener Dave is the mind behind at least the AI work that was the My Kaniga song and the My Chimona song, which of course you'll hear as Wednesday outro music. This time he made Truly Badly Deeply, as in a play on Savage Garden's 90s classic Truly Madly Deeply. Now, as you'd expect, the song is about the show being gay. It's some of the lyrics are Matt and I once made love. It's testimonies to that theme. I didn't expect my own voice to be included in the song. Be patient and listen to how the song ends. Wait for it. I just wanted to put a dick in a butt.
I like this one.
Are you a homosexual?
I don't know why I said that, but I did. So it works well for the song.
So much gay shit.
Hey, man.
It's overwhelming.
If it's too much for you, you say the word. You are welcome to spend your time otherwise. That's how we do it around here, you know? We act like we're not gay, and then we play things like that. All right. As always, the listener AI music tracks, the tracks are available, linked in the description, and I also have them through the archives and resources page on my website if you want the full songs. And if you want in on the shenanigans, AI slop, highly regarded debate or discussion, MC Club, Discord servers where you get access to all that exclusive material. Link to join the club is in the description. Okay, time to get serious. It's time for an Iran update.
Why the fuck is the gas so high, bitch?
So the full terms of the pending Iran deal were published earlier today. The White House has confirmed the accuracy and the authenticity of this list. So this is what is about to be signed. I guess on Friday is still the plan. But there are 14 terms to this agreement. Among them, I'm not going to go through all of them, but the highlights. There's going to be an end to all military operations against each other, the U.S. and Iran, including in Lebanon. Now, Israel is also a party to that. So does Israel agree to that? I don't know. Guess we'll find out. 60 days to negotiate a final deal, extendable 60 days with mutual consent. So again, a deal to make a deal. End of the U.S. naval blockade. It'll be over within 30 days, according to this deal. Iran will open the Strait of Hormuz without any tolls. This is where it gets... Well, I think there are a lot of controversial pieces about this, but especially this one. The U.S. agrees to a $300 billion reconstruction plan for Iran. Now, Trump has previously said the funds are coming from regional partners, and the text of the deal here does say that there will be regional partners in on this funding, but we don't know exactly how that's going to shake out. Trump has said it's not on the U.S. taxpayer. We don't have an official accounting for where that money's coming from. The plan will be developed according to this agreement. The U.S. will end all economic sanctions against Iran. Again, pretty controversial piece there. And then Iran's commitments here. They are committing not to procure or develop nuclear weapons, and that sounds great. And hopefully they will. But the next term, item 9 here, says pending the deal, Iran will maintain the status quo, maintain the current status quo of its nuclear program. Okay, so we're at least until there's a final deal, again, deal to make a deal, so that until the deal on the other side of that deal to make a deal is achieved, they're not committing to anything as far as their nuclear program. As far as I can tell from the terms of this one, there's talk that there's going to be some handling of their nuclear material that they have stockpiled. That's one of the, or did I already go through that one? I don't know. That's that's one of the next terms of the deal here. They're not going to procure or develop nuclear weapons. U.S. and Iran agree to dispose of stockpiled enriched uranium pursuant to a mechanism to be agreed upon later. So they agree in principle to deal with this stockpiled enriched uranium, but no specifics yet. And the U.S. will unfreeze restricted Iranian assets, terms to be decided later. So bottom line for me, not much gained yet. Mostly a return to status quo, straight open, no tolls if they actually do that. But the details about ending Iran's nuclear program and how to deal with their current nuclear material are not yet decided. It is better to have the straight open than not. But again, that was kind of status quo before we got involved at the end of February and into March. And as far as the original point of this military action, Iran's nuclear program, those details remain undecided. Meanwhile, Iran kind of actually gains a lot. You got unfrozen assets, you got sanctions removed, you got a $300 billion reconstruction plan, even if that's coming from other countries and not necessarily from us. And all of that says nothing about the hundreds of billions of dollars we've already spent and American lives we've already lost. So I don't see the gain here.
I don't know what Trump is doing.
Do you guys have other thoughts?
I mean, if there was a gain, you'd expect Trump to be, never shutting up about it and how great it is and the best deal, blah, blah, blah. And I haven't really heard any of that. In fact, even, this is not nuclear, but Trump was talking at the G7 about how, we're going to let Iran keep certain missiles because, hey, every other country has one, so they should be allowed to have them. That's obviously a deviation from prior rhetoric.
Or just, we're not talking nuclear weapons.
No, not nuclear, just normal. But like it's a diversion or a change in the rhetoric. It seems, too, that Trump is very, very pissed off with Israel. He referred to them as a minor partner, as opposed, which is obviously a shrift in rhetoric from a greatest ally that ever lived, which there's never been any evidence for. But no, it just doesn't look great. It seems like this whole situation should have been avoided entirely.
Batman, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know where this is going just yet. If this really is the deal that we're making, I don't like it. But we'll see. I mean, Trump has insinuated deals before that have not happened, and I think the situation is still fluid. So one way to find out, basically.
That's kind of the problem with this deal too. You can criticize a lot of these things that appear to be very favorable to Iran, but so many of the specifics, it's just we agree to reach details later. So again, a deal to make a deal.
They've never gone back on their word before, right?
I know. So how could you possibly have? Yeah, how could you possibly have faith in that? So, I mean, I get relative to what's been going on the last few months, if we can get uninterrupted traffic through the strait and we can get oil prices back down, that's cool. I look forward to that. But again, we could have achieved that or had that without the massive cost to the United States that we've created over the last few months. So
the only way it's a win is, and this is kind of banking on the fact that everyone's attention span in politics is about 2 weeks, that if gas prices crash back to where they were before the conflict, there are going to be some people who credit Trump for that and then also forget that Trump was the reason they were high in the first place.
Don't do the Biden where they send inflation up to 9%.
Yeah.
Look and then it
how
goes
much
out
to
I brought
3
it down.
and they're like, yeah. But that thing is, it actually does work on some people.
That's
that kind
such
of
bullshit.
Short-sighted stuff. I mean, I'm not saying it will, but
there is a certain segment of Red Hat Klan people who would buy that, but I don't think most people would.
Red Hat Klan people.
I meant not Klan. What's the word I'm looking for?
People?
No. What's the term for a person who's like blindly loyal to something? Why am I blanking?
A sycophant?
No. If you're in
a cult follower,
yes,
a cult of personality,
not clan, cult. Why can I not think of the word cult? You can go with clan, man. Too.
It's late.
All right. Well, no, I mean it's really not.
Red Hat Klan. Red Hat Klan people that just put like a really funky mental image of like the Imperial Guard from Star Wars, except they have pointy hats.
That's the weirdest thing I've said since I just want to put a dick in a butt. But I say weird things on this show that contextually make sense, I swear. All right. I know you
As
saw.
we were saying.
Wait a minute. Did I forget to grab this story? Let me pull it up here. I did forget to grab it. So I'm going to have to put it into my browser here. All right. I know you saw this story because you sent it to me, Matt. But Christopher Rufo, who does a lot of great reporting on a wide variety of topics, so I like to read his stuff. He's got a new scoop out of California. And as Turles was talking about in the Discord server earlier today or this week, we are maybe just an inch away from the meme of state-enforced homosexuality in California. Maybe not enforced, but there's definitely incentives to be as gay as you can. You could become a millionaire if you're gay enough in California. Christopher Rufo's latest in City Journal, Inside California's Gay Certification Program. So, yes, the state of California will be certifying gayness for the purposes of state business. So California Democrats are considering preferential state contract awarding for gay-owned businesses. And they already do a lot of this for diversity purposes. Now, technically, I think I read in this story, they can't do it in an openly discriminatory way, like you must be black or gay or whatever to get the contract. But they've done it through what their departments call goals, and in this case, it's their power department. I forget what the name of their actual. It's the California Public Utilities Commission. So this is the state body that handles power and utilities and all these things, and they award a lot of contracts to private companies to fulfill all of these utility demands. And so they want to award these contracts according to goals for gay-owned businesses. It's not a requirement, but it will, it might earn you some extra points if you're trying to get that precious state contract. So obviously the question
then, certification program just an HIV test.
It's bad when you go in and they ask for no proof. It's like, is that obvious, huh?
It sounds like they do want proof, and
that's what I read.
Yeah. I mean, they're not just going to believe you if you say, "Hello, fellow homosexual. Did you enjoy any good dick last night?" No, you have to prove it, and that is the point of this story. There's going to be a certification program, and so the question is, how do you prove that you're gay? Do you have to demonstrate it on site at the office? Turns out, no, at least not yet. There are a few different ways you can demonstrate that you are sufficiently gay for the state of California to award you a contract. Number one, you can provide a letter from an LGBT organization attesting to your sexual preference. So you go to you just go to the local gay club and you say, "Hey, I'm a homo. Write a letter to the state about how gay I am." Number two,
you submit your HIV test.
They could be a lot simpler. Why are we making this complicated? Number two, proof that a newspaper has identified you as gay. or three reference letters from personal contacts written on company letterhead attesting to homosexual orientation. If you falsely represent yourself as gay, you face up to a year in prison. There's one man described, going to prison for faking being gay. That's let me find it. I'm pretty sure that's in here.
Oh, that's insane. If it was me, I would do the Norm Macdonald bit where I would just say I'm deeply closeted, because then I don't have to provide any evidence.
Corporate officials who falsely represent their business as gay face up to a year in county jail.
How could you know?
Your letter, it was all false.
Once you wind up in jail, they'll find out.
Then you're going to be gay for real. So
they'll make you gay there.
Even if they expose your lie and you're like married with kids, you could just lie and say you're like bisexual. No, like I don't know. How hard would it be to pay 3 people to say that you're gay?
Well, and then there's like this complicated case of this man turned woman, a transgender guy, transgender air quotes woman, who has gone through the process of proving to the state how womanly and lesbian he is. And it sounds like a bunch of hoops. And it's odd because the premise is you can change gender. He did, but then he's like not allowed to change gender later because he has to stay trans or lesbian. Like if he goes back to man, he's not lesbian anymore. So I guess his contracts are a problem.
If he's attesting that he's turning himself into a woman, doesn't that ungay him?
Well, and it's weird too, because it's just, what is a woman? It's a person who says he's a woman. Or she, but
if you're gay, then you have to prove it.
But the state requires you to prove it still. And this person Mary Ann Horton is his name now. He submitted to the state a domestic partner affidavit about how he's a lesbian. Because again, he's a man who changed to woman and is with a woman. So he had his lesbian air quotes wife write a letter to the state about how lesbian he is. Then he got documentation, like a revised birth certificate from the state of Washington that shows he's a woman now, to be trans. Again, all of this to get what? To get state money, to get contracts from the state for these utility purposes. And the question will become, how badly do you want that state contract? Would you take a dick for it? Because what would you do for a Klondike bar? Okay. How badly do you want this thing? If there are millions of dollars in state money at stake, would you be gay enough for the state of California for just a little while? People will attempt this. It will be defrauded, or people will consider being gay for the sake of becoming wealthy off the state's back.
What fraud in California? That never happens.
Well,
the funniest kind of fraud.
If you wanted to apply, though, Matt, you could just provide proof from all the chat logs.
Exactly.
So
listen
easy.
to the song. I just played it.
I know, and we have evidence of you saying that. Quote. So I think you'd qualify.
And wearing a tutu.
That's
and
real video.
shooting
It's
blanks.
not even. Yeah. The real thing companies will do, it's like when California tried to force X amount of diversity in corporate boards. They'll just install these token dummy people.
Mm-hmm.
They'll do, oh, my business is gay owned now because I have a gay friend who like signs documents for me. That's the way it will actually be defrauded. It won't be fraudulent gay sex. I don't think people will go that far, but they will have a stand-in gay guy. And then what does that actually change? Of course, none of this serves the state's interest of just acquiring a product or service at the best product or service at the best possible price. Now there's just a gay middleman signing papers, signing checks to make sure that somehow the money touches a gay guy at some point in time in a satisfactory way for the state of California. So look forward. This is going to be a hilarious program. I look forward to seeing the results.
Yeah.
I look forward. That money is going to go to predators.
We have a lot.
We save your Predator commentary for a little bit, because we have multiple Predator stories for your analysis this evening. Did you guys see the counter programming over on the Democrat counter programming to the UFC?
Of course, yeah.
To the UFC
great.
fight on Sunday night for Trump's birthday. Now, of course, the entertainment there included the one fighter guy calling Michelle Obama a man, which Matt and I didn't realize was happening on Sunday night.
We did not.
It was super chatted, and I didn't know the context.
Oh, yeah, but we were talking about whether or not Michelle Obama has a penis, not even knowing.
Yeah.
History was just made.
Yes.
Yeah.
On all of that, there's people like cheerleading it. There's people pearl clutching it. I don't know what to think about it, because on the one hand, it's like, it is the most, I say this as an appreciator of it, it is the most normie conspiracy theory out there. So it's like, how edgy is this really? Yeah. And even though I'm not going to pearl clutch, because the point of the pearl clutch has been defeated by people who have politicized this country in every way possible.
Yeah.
I wish our country was in a state that we could celebrate in a unified, non-political way for our 250th birthday. Yeah. I would like not to have to make Michelle Obama jokes on the stage. I wish our country could get together more than that. On the other side of it, though, all the people pissed off, like, oh, you politicized what is, supposed to be such an important moment for our country. I agree, it is an important moment for our country. Now, if it was President Kamala Harris or Joe Biden had continued, you're not going to get them like yelling Melania is a tranny, I bet, but you're going to have lots of trannies shaking their butt on the stage. Yeah. So what for the pearl clutchers who are mad that this happened, I get it in principle, but the alternative was nothing better than what that was. Yeah. In fact, I'd wager this was way better than the alternative. This is awesome compared to what it would have been.
It's juvenile, but sorry, but just one sec. But you have to remember the context of. It's widely speculated, and I think it's credible to believe that Donald Trump was very famously roasted to his face by Barack Obama at one of the White House press correspondence dinners. I think this was in 2010 or 2011, and everyone was laughing at him. He's there stone-faced, and you can see the gears turning in his brain of, all right, fuck you, I'm actually going to run for this thing and win. And so one day he's getting roasted to his face by the president. Fast forward, he takes his job twice and then has a guy call his wife a tranny at a White House spectacle. That.
It's just revenge.
How cool is that? It's awesome. And then to your comment about how we have a divided a celebration. If you look at the polling from Gallup, Pew, etc., liberal patriotism is entirely dependent on who's in office. In that, it's like when Democrats are in office, it's like 90% among both Democrats and Republicans. When it's a Republican office, it's the same for Republicans. It dips like a I don't know, a rock or something. I don't have a good analogy. It falls a lot. Is my point. Go ahead.
I think you're looking for Red Hat Cult. Sorry. Anyway. Or Red Hat Clan. I botched it twice. All right. I'm going to shut up. Go ahead, Batman.
Sorry, Batman. Go ahead.
No, you're good. And he picked the perfect event, too, to have people sling that particular mud in Michelle Obama's direction, right? Because it's like, oh, them's fighting words, but he's still going to kick your ass.
Yep.
Somebody did a mock-up of like a recreation of the old, is it a Game Boy game, but Mike Tyson's Knockout? But it was that
N64 or something.
Yeah, okay.
It was an SNES game. Yeah,
it was that guy fighting Big Mike, and Big Mike is just hulking. If we got that fight on the stage, it would have been great. Anyway, to get back to the point of the Democrat counter cringe, so Democrats put on their own program. This was not in D.C. It was in New York City, and I guess this was put on by Jane Fonda was the primary host of this. Many other celebrities involved. Again, all of it in New York City. The event was called Rise Up, Sing Out. And Julia Roberts was there and paying tribute to Renee Good, who, of course, drove her car at an ICE agent in Minneapolis and paid her life for it. The Drive Baby Drive lady. Robert De Niro said he can't be a patriot in Donald Trump's America. To Matt's point, his patriotism is entirely dependent on who the president is, and he's openly saying that. But there was an anti-Trump concert of protest music and what was supposed to be audience sing-along. I don't know if people know these songs, but that's why they put the lyrics up big, I suppose. This particular song is from a group called Singing Resistance. It's a group of singers from Minneapolis who use music to protest. And here is their number called No One Is Getting Left Behind.
No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. Not this time. No one is getting left behind this time. How do we get there? Together or never get there at all.
You suck, you jackass.
My songs are not that bad. The AI songs are actually much better than...
Way better.
If only Renee Good were still around to drive Baby Drive right through that stage. I think we'd solve a lot of problems.
Or just unleash all of those UFC fighters into that crowd. That'd be fantastic.
It was also it was poorly reviewed by the internet. It was also poorly reviewed by that NBC reporter, Julie Sirkin, who had no idea, just like a shooting at the White House. She has no idea what's going on.
No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting
What is that?
behind.
Nobody knows. Yeah, you're supposed to sing along, but nobody has any idea what the hell that is. Then there's Bette Midler. I didn't know that this song, I thought this was a Bette original. It's not. It's apparently a classic protest song called Hey You Fascists by Woody Guthrie. The song was written in 1940, addressing the poll tax, Jim Crow, and racial hatred in the U.S. Bette Midler modified it, modernized it, with new lyrics about ICE and Minneapolis and the Epstein files and gas prices. Here you go.
Oh, you fascists bound to lose. You're bound to lose. You fascists bound to lose. Hey there, all you fascists. Let me put you straight. When you come for the rest of us, we'll fight you at the gate and you will lose. You fascists bound to lose.
I hate you all. Die, die, die.
If fascism will stop this, then sign me up. I embrace
please
fascism.
Give me something for the cringe and let me die.
I embrace what they think fascism is.
Which is what?
Like
just nationalism.
I'm just a moderate Democrat from 1850. All right, that's all I am.
You're a regular Clinton voter. Yeah.
No, it's 1850.
1850.
1850. Well, even
Yeah.
1950 wouldn't be the Clintons, but I see. I understand.
You get the joke. All right. Great.
You're a
Next story.
pre-Southern strategy. Yeah. All right. Whatever.
That was the bit. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Next story.
All right. Let's talk about the Southern Poverty Law Center. Now, this isn't actually breaking news with the Southern Poverty Law Center. This was part of that superseding indictment that came out a week or two ago. I know we talked about that, Matt. I believe we did, at least. But now we have an identity on who the lovers are, or at least one of them is. Now, recall the Justice Department accused the Southern Poverty Law Center of committing fraud by using donor money, not to stop hate groups, but in fact to prop them up and to maintain them as a means of maintaining their own business. If they exist to counter all the hate groups out there, well, it's kind of good for business and soliciting donations if the hate groups are healthy. If the hate groups go away, there's no reason for the Southern Poverty Law Center anymore. So it's alleged they were, giving some money to these groups to maintain their own operation. So the SPLC, of course, has defended itself by saying they paid informants for information, which is standard when infiltrating or investigating organizations. Law enforcement often does this. But as more information about what's going on comes out, it looks pretty clear that the money was for more things than just informant services. And now in this case, you actually have the complication of a personal relationship, which looks pretty corrupt. I don't know how they're going to explain this, but maybe they will. Because in this case, it's not just information services. It looks like bedroom services or just creative thinking to funnel money, maybe to yourself through your boyfriend, Ilhan Omar style. And she's the master of that
neo-Nazi gigolo.
Yeah. So whatever happened, it appears that an old boss at the SPLC has been or had been sleeping with the enemy, literally in bed with the Nazis. Heidi Byrick is believed to be employee 2, identified in the SPLC indictment.
Woof.
Heidi Byrick was SPLC's director of intelligence from 2012 to 2019. And again, according to the indictment, the superseding indictment that's been out for a little bit now, Byrick was very close to an informant listed as F9. Now, F9 infiltrated a neo-Nazi organization called National Alliance. But the issue here is that Byrick was also in a romantic relationship with F9. And during this romantic relationship, Byrick and her Nazi infiltrator boyfriend shared a house and 2 bank accounts. And between 2015 and 2021, approximately 140 grand was 140 grand in SPLC donor money flowed from the SPLC operating account into their joint bank accounts. That's about 66% of all the money that was ever deposited into those accounts. Boyfriend guy was also raising money for the neo-Nazi group to carry out extremist activities. This is the same guy. Matt, I think we talked about this previously. This guy was accused of breaking into the National Alliance Nazi Group's headquarters, stealing 25 boxes of documents, copying them, then returning the documents. About the theft, this is the best quote in the in the story here. The chairman of the National Alliance Nazi Group told the New York Post, quote, "I knew it was that fat, ugly hog, Heidi Byrick."
Jeez.
The chairman said some of his members wanted to get out of the movement, so they went to the SPLC for help, and the SPLC said, "Hey, why don't you stay and get paid by us?" Now, in total, Heidi Byrick's boyfriend guy received some $1.2 million from the SPLC over 20 years. And even if he legitimately was gathering information, perhaps some of his activity was, how convenient is it that the guy raking in $1 million over a couple decades for information, according to the SPLC, just happens to be the boyfriend, the cohabitator of the woman running the Southern Poverty Law Center's intelligence operation? Now, I keep calling him boyfriend guy because we don't actually know his identity. And neither do the hate groups, actually. There's a couple people mentioned who might be the person in here, but we don't know who that is. Heidi Byrick is identified by her description in the indictment matching some of her publicly known characteristics. Fat, ugly hog, I think. Employee 2 is a fat, ugly hog, it said in the indictment. And
that's all you need.
We cross-referenced that with the Nazi group leader.
Wonder if she has the same tattoo as that Plattner douchebag.
Probably. She might, yeah. So we don't actually know who he is. Perhaps that information will come out. But we do know, based on the indictment, that this guy had a romantic relationship with the employee who matches her description. They shared bank accounts, and that much information we do know. So really, his identity is secondary to the activity that was going on here. It's not like if we know who he is, it changes the nature of the activity. But perhaps when we know who he is, we'll have even more information about what exactly was going on here. You guys have any thoughts on that?
I think it's a bummer that the whole far right doesn't exist.
It's all fake. I'm on the SPLC payroll.
Can you imagine if Antifa was being propped up by like Charles Koch or something, and it's like, just kidding, no more, you're gone. That'd be great, but for us, no, it sucks.
Yeah.
It's also unfortunate, too, because anytime you see a right-wing movement start to organize, immediately everyone goes, they're a bunch of feds, which basically makes it impossible to organize a right-wing movement. But on the other hand, they're right like 95% of the time, which is unfortunate. So,
well, that's not true. They're not all feds. Some of them
time,
it's like 95.
Those movements that pop up glow like they've been to Chernobyl recently.
Yeah, seriously.
Some of them are SPLC agents operating with private donor money. It's not all feds. There's a little bit of mix in the group, but we'll keep an eye.
I mean, they should have been paying the people who tried to kidnap what was her name, Gretchen Whitmer.
They should have paid us. I mean, we're doing this show every Sunday, and we're getting nothing from the SPLC.
Yeah, as far as I know,
we need to be more racist.
We don't have any.
What am I doing wrong?
I only have chatters who call me gay and make AI songs about it. I don't actually have SPLC chat support. So we'll see. We'll make a proposal for the organization, see if they are willing to give us a grant. All right. Now to matter, not that this isn't serious, but some things are so serious you don't even joke about them. And this UK grooming gang, rape gang report is one such topic. So over in the UK, Rupert Lowe, the leader of Restore Britain, the Restore Britain Party, has released a 200-page parliamentary report into Britain's longtime grooming gang scandal, as in gangs primarily of migrants, a lot of them Muslim, committing mass sexual abuse against British girls for decades now. The investigation is called the Rape Gang Inquiry, and it was conducted by grooming gang survivors and independent investigators. The investigation was funded by over 20,000 citizen donations. Investigation was 16 months long. I did not have time. Go ahead.
Did he use the "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia" font for the?
Is that like a trade? Looks like Times New Roman to me.
Yeah,
but,
it's
I don't know.
Worst episode ever. Anyway, go on.
I don't know if you play the song. Yeah, what's their famous little?
Or am I confusing it with Curb Your Enthusiasm? I'm a little delirious.
Oh,
right
maybe
now,
no. I'm the one. Yeah, right. I'm thinking Curb Your Enthusiasm.
You're thinking Curb. No, I think it's Always Sunny.
All right.
It's
like I said.
Anyway, go ahead.
We shouldn't be making jokes about this matter. They're terrible.
No. Yeah.
All right. So the investigation, 20,000 donors contributed to this 16-month long investigation. I did not have time to read all 200 pages of this today, but some highlights from the investigation. So the report says there are at least 250,000 young girls, described as mostly white and working class, who have been sexually exploited by migrant grooming gangs since the 1950s. Testimony from many of these victims includes allegations of drugging, gang rape, trafficking, torture, blackmail through filmed assaults, forced pregnancies, and more. The girls were treated as property for sexual use. And based on the allegations in this report, it sounds like a lot of these grooming gangs were picking up women in troubled situations. They find them at care homes. They find them in unstable families. They get them largely in working class communities. 87 to 95% of these grooming gang members over these decades, according to this report, are Muslim men. A lot of them have identifiably Islamic or Muslim names, mostly Pakistani. Mm-hmm. And they're highly organized. There are some 149 chapters, essentially. I don't know if we have a map in here. There's one in the report, but you have basically 149 local authority districts across the UK. Again, this is a highly organized thing where there are effectively chapters of grooming gangs all across the country. But the deal with the grooming gang scandal here is the rape itself is only half of the scandal. The other part of the scandal is the widespread cover-up. Yeah. The report alleges that political and law enforcement officials at really all levels, from your local cop all the way up to the prime minister, have largely looked the other way. In some cases, they're even accused of facilitating, but at least looked the other way for fear of being called racist, of being called bigots, of being called hateful. And so politicians and police knew, according to this report, chose to protect their reputations over abused children. As one example, so former Prime Minister Tony Blair, who was Prime Minister of the UK from the late 90s into like 2010 or something like that. So he actually,
not Tony Blair on the screen.
It's definitely not him.
I know, but this is the guy. That's not Tony Blair. You're right, but this is the guy. He made this Pakistani predator a baron. So Tony Blair gives this, and shortly thereafter, this guy is actually convicted in 2022 of the rape of a 13-year-old girl. And he got a 5.5-year prison sentence, and he still retained his title, apparently. Like, they haven't even taken away his title of baron, even though he's convicted of raping a teenage girl. So for discussion on this, I will pose a question. Of course, I invite your thoughts on however you'd like to direct it, but here's one for your consideration. Assuming this is all correct, and there are questions of scale, like, is the 250,000 number correct? All right, well, I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But assuming that there's any truth to this story at all, that there's a lot of rape and a lot of looking the other way, which is actually worse? The rape or the looking of the other way while you know it's going on? Or maybe it doesn't matter which is worse. Maybe both need to be treated harshly. What do you think?
I think the worst
as
part
far
is
as far as I'm concerned, the wood chipper does not discriminate.
I would say the worst part is the hypocrisy.
What do you mean?
No, you don't get that joke either? All right, fuck it.
Sorry, that was...
Thanks to the 4 people in the chat who get it. The rape is the worst part. The cover-up is second, yeah.
Well, obviously, the individual attacker it's a horrific act, and the capture of these girls and the putting them into what is essentially a life of sexual slavery, at least in the most extreme forms, yes, that's awful. But on the scale, like, if it's true that you had all these politicians enabling this, they knew about it and they looked the other way, you're not a rapist yourself, but you're in a position of power to stop it, and you enabled it to happen on a massive scale for years.
Well, the craziest part is
to children.
Like, you think how hard it is to get a group of guys together to do anything? Like, I've been planning a poker night for 3 years now with no progress at all. What kind of guy has a group of friends where you can walk in and be like, all right, we're going raping? Like, how is that possible? Like, if you look at the statistics of, among white European men who commit rape, the odds of walking in, someone asked Grok to do the math, where it was like, what are my odds based on the average British white man of walking into 3 rapists in a row? And it was, the odds are like, you're way more likely to win the lottery. It was like 1 in billions. Yet there are countless stories in these Muslim communities where, like, or like out of India, for instance, now this is separate, where a woman gets raped, goes to ask someone for help, gets raped, goes to the police station, gets raped. Like, it is a totally depraved.
At the police station? Jeez,
yes,
oh my God.
The
police station is a grooming gang headquarters.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'm not making this one
story.
up. Yeah, but no, it's an effed up culture, and we have no moral obligation to. I take it in, and it's just bizarre that the UK does not have our racial history. So the fact that the term racist carries any weight there is bizarre to me. Like, there's literally nothing to be guilty over. I guess some, maybe with some colonization things here and there, maybe went a little too far. Probably not, but
clearly not far enough.
No, clearly not far enough. Yeah. But no, it's deport them all is where I'm at. I thought deportation's the moderate option, I should say.
Yeah, the problem with deportation is they can come back.
You're going to
need fortification to stop the horde next time.
I'm not going to say my other plan, but yeah, we'll see. We'll keep it there.
Well, I have a couple ideas, although, I mean, What's her name? Saint Olga of Kiev would probably approve.
What are all these references? I have no idea what the hell you guys are talking about tonight. Who's that?
I don't get this one, so it's
Who is
regal.
Saint Olga of Kiev? Is this like the ghost of Kiev?
No. This is an old historical figure. Her husband is killed, so she goes on a gigantic, bloody retribution spree, buries like thousands of people alive, stuff like that.
Well, here's another point for consideration, and Turles brought this up in the Discord server, and I think it's an important one. Now, the Epstein file scandal, of course, matters on principle, the allegation being the same thing, centrally, like the mass scale abuse of young girls covered up by politicians, powerful people, all of that. One's in the UK. The UK has more of an immigration angle than the Epstein file scandal does, but they are fundamentally the same scandal. And it's not that anybody believed that Ro Khanna and company and the rest of the Democrat mob who are demanding Epstein files justice actually cared about the principles supposedly at play there. They just viewed it as a weapon to get Donald Trump. But Turles made the point, and I think it's important to recognize anybody who claimed to be outraged about the Epstein files, and again, you should be for the principles that matter in that case, not because it's a weapon to get Trump, but you must be at least as mad about this, if not more angry, given the scale of it. Even the worst of what is believed about Jeffrey Epstein is not on the scale of what is alleged in the UK. Yeah. And the people who
not even close.
The people who've been out there for months this year demanding justice for these victims. I mean, in fairness, one is in another country. I get that. The UK is not our country. Epstein operated, I guess, primarily with Americans, but Epstein wasn't limited to just the U.S. either. And there were international people implicated there. One
of which being a UK royal.
Exactly. Yeah. And what are the reasons that you won't hear the people mad about the Epstein file stuff talking about this? Well, primarily because this has a racial or ethnic component. And so now it doesn't matter, because how could you blame those precious Pakistanis? They would never do such a thing. And the only other thing I wanted to say about this, I do think people are questioning the validity of the numbers. And I do agree that 250,000 is a very large number mathematically. According to this accounting, it would mean like 1 in 40 women of reproductive age over these decades was assaulted, but doesn't matter.
Okay, he adjusted for that. Okay, I was going to say it's over decades, but it seems like he adjusted. I want to see the methodology, because when you have a nice round even number like 250,000, it's like, well, it obviously wasn't exactly 250,000. Was it 239,114? Was it like it's a number like that? It's not exactly 250K. So I just want to know what kind of margin of error we have. I mean, we know in Rotterdam, in I think it was just a few years, there was thousands of these rapes occurring. So it's not entirely implausible, but it does go back decades when the UK was like 99% white, where you wouldn't as much think these things are happening. But I still have to read through the study in its entirety.
Yeah, and I agree that methodologically 250,000 is kind of a suspect number. However, when people are debating this, does it matter? Like, what if it was 1,000?
Cut it down to 3,000. Yeah.
What if it was 10,000?
It's still awful.
It is still a massive scandal if a fraction of what is alleged is true. And again, it's not just rumor, hearsay stuff. A lot of these people experienced it. A lot of the sources for this information are survivors, victims themselves. And I've seen a few pieces of what is alleged, different anecdotes from some of these people. And it's not that you had any understanding otherwise of what the allegations are, but we are talking horrific types of behaviors that I won't even describe on air, but just use of objects, use of various humiliation methods. It wasn't even if only it was as bad as a bunch of Pakistani guys like whistling at younger girls outside of a high school and then having their fun. Now, there's clearly like beyond the sexual gratification itself, there's clearly like a dominance, or there's something extremely messed up about at least a lot of these anecdotal accusations. I don't know if those are extreme or common or what, but
I was just thinking, but Richard Hanania, I think he was the guy who was on the tweet, was saying they're implausible because it's 1 in 40 reproductive age women. But a lot of the cases I've seen are like it's pedophilia. So
yeah, it depends on how that age is.
So they're out of
too,
that age range. So it's now that I'm thinking about it more, it's not quite as crazy as he's trying to make it sound out to be. Yeah.
Well, before we get to calls,
another reason why I think that people will scream and shout about Epstein and try and pin that to Trump and stuff like that is because they know there are not going to be any consequences. If part of them believes that pedophilia is wrong and that it's not just a weapon to, own the right or whatever, and they started calling out on these Muslim gangs, some people are going to get their heads cut off with machetes. These people don't give a shit about your life.
Maybe in the old redcoat days, but I don't think they're going to do that these days. They're talking about prosecutions, but unfortunately for the UK, I'll believe that when I see it.
That means
I don't buy it.
Someone observed like every headline out of the UK is either Muslim rapist gets 3 months in jail, or guy who used the N-word on Discord gets 20 years. And there's no in between in those headlines.
Even this guy who's featured as the guy who was honored by Tony Blair and then later was convicted of raping a 13-year-old girl. Now, I don't know all the specifics of this case, but I'm reading it right here. Jailed for 5.5 years. You raped a 13-year-old and you got 5.5 years? Okay.
And
that
not
seems
the wood chipper.
That seems pretty gentle. Seems pretty courteous. So, yeah. All right. Before we get to calls, I do want to talk about the apparent foiled plot, the foiled terror attack on the UFC fight on Sunday. They picked the wrong target. They should have aimed at New York and the Bette Midler event. No, I'm just kidding. You shouldn't do that. But
no terrorism, please.
I disavow. But at least I wouldn't have had to hear that crap. All right. So these guys, there are 5 of them, according to the DOJ's press release. 5 were arrested before they could carry out the plot. The arrested 5 are from different states across the country: Ohio, Missouri, Nebraska, California. And these men had coordinated online. Apparently, the plan was to conduct some type of drone attack on the event, causing high-value targets to be evacuated from the event. And then they were going to have snipers ready to shoot them or potentially random people running away, sort of unclear, but they wanted to use drones with explosives to prompt people to move and then shoot people while they moved, which I don't get, because if they just logistically, tactically, if you want to eliminate high value targets, which is what they say in the description in the DOJ press release here, wouldn't you want them seated still? But I guess maybe they need them to move because they're protected by I assume they're protected by bulletproof glass or something. I don't know. But if they're moving, it's harder to shoot them.
The explosive drone.
Yeah, it's harder to get them if they're moving around. I don't know. Anyway, that was the plan. We're going to use the explosive drones to get people moving, and then we're going to shoot them. And the plot was apparently uncovered after the mom of one of these men became suspicious of her 19-year-old son and reported him. So here's a Fox News report on the plot.
19-year-old Tyson Proper's mother called police after she was concerned about his purchases and communications with people online. It then led them to conversations that he allegedly had with someone named Brian Roa and Michael Thomas in Southern California. They appeared yesterday before a federal judge. We're also told that there is a suspect in Nebraska and one in Missouri as well. This alleged plot consisted of a plan to have drones that were actually armed with some type of firepower go and attack buildings around the White House. And once people left, they were going to have snipers nearby attacking some of the people leaving. But it appears that it was this 19-year-old's mother in Ohio who really spilled the beans on this entire case by letting people know that she had some concerns.
Okay. So according to the Justice Department, one group member had made some moves to buy these drone materials and explosive materials. The guys are all charged with conspiracy to commit murder. And the ringleader, I noticed in the coverage of this, everyone's the ringleader. All 5 of them are the ringleader, depending on how they want to sensationalize it. But one of the 5 guys, I just realized it's like the burger joint. This is 5 guys terror plots, not 5 guys burgers and fries. Okay, one of these 5 guys is a foreign national Abraham Alvarez was living in Omaha, Nebraska. He consented to consular notification during his court appearance yesterday. His immigration status and country of origin are unknown, but that step is only necessary if you're in fact from another country. So who knows where he's from? We might have some kind of immigration component with this guy's involvement as well. And in police interviews after the arrest, I know there are a lot of complicated politics for these guys. It looks like they are left-wing and right-wing, and both people are pointing fingers at each other to blame the other side for this. One of the plotters, Michael Allen Thomas, said the goal of the group was to create enough chaos to overthrow the U.S. government. That's what he's telling police. Whether they were serious about that or not. I mean, there was a lot of high-level organization here. They were buying things. They were putting people into tiers of organization. They had these maps of D.C. trying to strategize for how to deploy these drones and trying to figure out where to post up for shooting positions. So sometimes I think these things can be overblown. It's just a bunch of guys who like guns talking a bunch of shit in a Discord server. We've seen that happen before. But it looks like there was some pretty high-level organization happening in this one. So either this was authentic, or we're going to find out that there's some Whitmer-style Fed in that Discord server who was encouraging everyone to take the steps to make this happen. But what do you guys think about this plot?
I mean, I guess the mom turning it in makes it more likely to be credible. Like, couldn't you explain to your mom, like, no, mom, it's just a false flag, don't worry. I don't know.
I guess to get a mom to turn on her son, it must be kind of bad.
It must be pretty bad, yeah. Unless the SPLC is doing overtime with this. We don't know.
All right. Any thoughts on that one, Batman?
I wonder if that guy got a green card for being brought in as a hitman.
Although,
maybe.
Were they supposed to be left-wing? Because they did have an American flag patch and an American flag gun, which is very patriotic for a left-wing terrorist.
Well, people have accused them of being left-wing because of their action against Trump, and there's a lot of anti-Trump commentary. The right-wing accusation, one of them was like a registered Republican. I should have had this information, but I kind of ran out of time. One of them was had Republican politics previously, and then there was a lot of commentary. They have, I don't know if they have a manifesto out there, but there's a lot more information in the indictment, and there's a lot of anti-Israel commentary, that sort of stuff. Donald Trump is owned by Israel, and so we have to free our country from this and all, which can be flavors of both left and right wing.
It must be so frustrating being an actual terrorist and then going to commit an act, and then everyone immediately says you're a Fed and it's all fake. Like, imagine being Charlie Kirk's killer.
Well, they didn't get that far. They didn't do the actual attack.
Imagine being Charlie Kirk's killer, and he's like all proud of himself, and everyone's like, no, it was Israel or Mossad or Egypt for some reason. No, you didn't do it. It's gotta suck. But I guess it's good.
That's how we should start approaching Hamas. That's how we should start approaching Hamas. No, you didn't do it. It was actually Israel.
He'll take credit for other kills. That's the only way to get him to stop.
All right, we're going to get into calls momentarily. Before we do, hey, have you considered joining the MC Club? Well, you should. Here's why. Hey, if you enjoy the show, please consider supporting the show by becoming a member of the MC Club. For as little as $1 a month, you will enjoy a series of exclusive perks, including ad-free videos and podcasts, video calls, and a community Discord server with me and other listeners, loot box giveaways with channel merchandise, your name in the credit roll after videos and streams, and much more. But most importantly, you will help keep the Duct Tape production alive and independent from all those sinister forces of control. Join the MC Club at mattchristiansenmedia.com/support. Linked in the description. Okay, first up for calls this evening is Ctron. Ctron, are you there?
Yeah, hey, how's it going?
All right. I might have to, you're a little soft for me if we can get that mic a little louder. I'll do what I can, but
let me.
If you can get it closer to you maybe, or I don't know.
It's just like me.
How am I?
Yeah, that's better. Good. There you go.
Better. Okay, gotcha.
What do you got for us?
Yeah, so you guys were talking about the plots involving drones and like sniper zones at the White House, right?
Yep.
I will bet just with literally everything going on, I didn't really keep track of that event myself, but it's I will admit I'm kind of a little out of my element. I
join the club, man. Nobody's in their element here.
Right.
It's all the duct tape.
I guess it's also kind of like a thing of like it's like how many attempts is this now?
Right.
Oh, on Trump. Yeah, I guess does this
maybe?
count as I guess it has to count as a Trump assassination plot, if not attempt. Yeah.
Yeah, like kind of like maybe like I don't know, like a spinoff that like not full attempt, but yeah, it's.
Well, so when you say that many attempts, does that imply that you have doubt, or do you? What do you? What's your broader point?
I think they probably would have absolutely tried to take him out. It's just like it's almost kind of just like, another one.
Well,
I wish I could say I'm surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you're president, everyone kind of half the country wants you dead no matter what.
But
so.
no, it's what the details I did hear about they were trying to use drones to draw people out, right?
Apparently, yeah.
Like this is, I will say, like from what I've heard, this has to be one of the most bizarrely actually coordinated attacks of like this scale in quite a while.
Yeah.
And they still fucked it up.
Thanks, Mom.
True, and thankfully they did. But
How,
it's like,
I wonder how tight. I assume DC airspace has got to be pretty tightly controlled, though. Like if I was just some idiot, let's say I bring my stupid hobby drone down to Pennsylvania Avenue, and I'm just going to fly it around the White House for fun. Aren't I going to get a bunch of feds tackling me in like a minute? It can't be that easy to fly drones around the White House, I wouldn't think. But I don't know. I've never tried it. I imagine that's tightly controlled airspace.
They also probably have tech that we don't know about handling that kind of thing. So, probably would have failed, but it's just like, I don't know. I guess I'm still, I have to look into it more, but like what I have heard, it's just like apparently they were planning on a almost Inglourious Bastards kind of thing, taking everyone out.
I wonder what, I'd have to see. I'm curious what level of explosive these drones could deliver too. Are we talking about something that's enough to take out like a couple people in a tight proximity? Or are we talking enough explosive to take out everybody there or something?
Well,
I don't know.
So with that sniper like zone thing, I mean, you really wouldn't need more than like a couple people taken out with a drone to cause everyone to panic. And I guess for, those, the people planning this, hopefully get them into these zones. So, they probably were planning on, sniping, doing most of the work.
All right. Well, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Final thought if you want it. Go ahead.
The final thought, kind of random, not related, but you should look into going on to the Side Scrollers podcast. I think you would enjoy talking with those guys.
I don't know the show. Who hosts it?
So you might know the guy who runs it, Stuttering Craig. He was one of the like original YouTubers that did. He did a channel called Screw Attack, and now he does a video game podcast, but they talk a lot about politics and stuff like this from kind of our angle of things. But I think you guys would have a great conversation.
Well, thanks, man. I'll keep that in mind. As a general rule, I don't invite myself onto people's shows because I think it's just kind of rude. But if they look for guests and if they want that, you send their information my way or you send them a note on my behalf and let them know if they have any doubts. I have the 100th most influential young New Jerseyan on my show, and I can get them. I can get him for them.
I'll reach out to them and pitch you.
But I will actually next time I get a chance, I will let them know. But all right,
thanks, man.
You would do great there. But thank you guys and have a good evening.
Well, appreciate your call and thank you for the reference.
Yeah.
Have a great night.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Either of you guys know that show? I'm not familiar.
No, I wrote it down though, so we don't forget.
I've watched a couple of their episodes, but it's been a while, so I wouldn't say that I'm super familiar with them.
Oh, allergies are killing me, so bear with me. We'll see if I can make it
time of year.
Man, whenever I have these allergy attacks, it's a choice between suffering through the allergies or taking the only medicine that works, and the only medicine that works pretty much puts me out. Like it puts me into a coma.
So Claritin works for me well.
I've had decent luck with Zyrtec, but I dared to take 2 Zyrtecs on Monday.
Death.
It was over. Yeah.
Game over, man.
Yeah. Nicolio is up next. What do you got for us?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Wanted just to, like, it's in times recent, and I don't know if you noticed this, but it's like everything just seems a lot more toxic online.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think so. Everything, I can't look up on anything anymore without being it Israel's fault or like an immigrant's fault, and it's just, it sucks just looking at like online. And then that's besides the point. I wanted to bring your attention to an article that I read because I thought it was fake. And it also comes into the at the beginning of the show, the state-sponsored gayness.
Okay.
That I saw. And it was a Denver teacher was fired after students reported feeling pressured to kiss same-sex partners.
Jeez.
What?
And,
okay.
I completely thought this was fake until I was looking at it, and then no, it's real. It's 100% real. And a teacher was fired because she was pressuring her girl students to kiss each other for graded class material.
What?
Jeez.
Just
man.
any girl? Or did she suspect they were lesbians? Or was it, why? Was she trying to get them to be their authentic selves, or was it for her own gratification, or both?
I have no idea. Like the articles that I'm reading from it, they all come from the Denver Post. And it just appears like it was for like some sort of class skit. And all of them felt uncomfortable and they were complaining, and then until eventually, like, yeah, the teacher got fired. But I read that and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
The best, the only, it's not even a case in which it makes sense, but the only situation I could possibly imagine is what you're saying, where there's some kind of theater element, like characters kiss or something. But I don't know, man. I actually don't remember in high school. I don't remember people in plays. I did one play in high school. No, 2. There was nobody kissed anybody. I don't think that was part of it. But maybe if you're in like Romeo and Juliet or something, I don't know. Do they do that?
Not when I was in school.
Not in a gay way.
Yeah, that was a fair point.
Yeah.
Romeo and Juliet, is that the new one?
I don't want to know.
Juliet,
Maybe.
Juliet, maybe.
Yeah, just Juliet and other
Juliet.
Juliet. You're right. Yeah.
I'm just to address when you called that, I'm definitely probably half of the anti-immigrant posts you see, so I'm sorry about that. My bad.
Oh no, it's fair.
All right, good. I try to only do it when they're actually to blame. So
well, and to your point on the state of the internet currently, I agree that for some reason the internet just feels less fun lately. And I don't know if that's just me or if there's something going on. And I enjoy the internet. All right, I'm not going to quit the internet. I have too much fun in the internet. It would have to get so much worse for me to even think about retiring. But I just mean there's a ton of negativity. You're right that like someone could post, "Have a nice day," and the response will be $7,000 check cleared.
Well, you have to speak on the internet nowadays. Like, and you see this more among left-wing people who are dealing with those miserable people, where they speak in a way where they hedge every possible response in advance. So they'll be like, "I'm having a great day." However, I understand that the indigenous people of Americas have quite a lot of reasons to not have a great day, and also black people because of slavery. But then some liberal will jump in and be like, okay, so you think every Hispanic person's having a great day? Well, what about ICE? Like, there's nothing you can do to appease everyone, and everyone's miserable. The internet was also better when like 5% of the world was on it. The fact that I can wake up and see what a guy in India has to say about politics should be illegal.
I also wonder how many are authentic, because I think the internet is more botted than ever. And, and it's X, I believe, I'm sure like YouTube comments and YouTube engagement are like that too. There's a whole bunch of fake engagement and fake bot stuff for the purpose of creating certain appearances. And so it's very hard to figure out who's real and what real interactions are. And I think, Nicolio, a lot of the negativity, like the really ridiculous, nonsensical negativity, not just like, hey, I disagree with you, or you suck because I disagree with you, stuff we remember on the internet of old. I mean, like the weird stuff where it's "have a nice day" and the response is like a politically charged thing. That stuff, I think, is some kind of inauthentic bot army that is deployed for somebody's purposes. I don't know who that is. I don't know why.
They're all one Indian dude.
Yeah. But it seems like the internet is fake in a lot of ways.
You can see on X, if you click their profile, it'll tell you where the account is based off of. And every time you see a viral post that feels like it's like 10 years out of date politically, like it's like a liberal meme you would have seen on Facebook 10 years ago, but it's going viral on Twitter. You click in the account and it's some guy in Bangladesh. Like they go back in time, harvest old viral stuff, and try to repackage it. And it's
a guy in Bangladesh with the hottest AI generated woman you've ever seen.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nicolia, do you have a final thought?
Just it's like I don't know why, like I don't know if anybody else just noticed. It's that like I just don't want to look at anything anymore. When I used to be very like informative, it's like I look at like what the current events are, but like now it's just like I can't get by anything where it's like I can't tell if it's AI or like I can't get by any article. It's just like it's Israel's fault. But like when I talk to people like in person, like it's completely like the tone shifts. Like,
everyone's normal.
Everyone's normal. Like they're normal people. But I read articles like this, I mentioned them. I'm like, I don't see this anywhere, and I just want to stay off the internet. But let's say I feel like if I live under a rock, it's going to be worse.
Yeah, but like, I think there's plenty of like legitimate criticisms of Israel. It's just I just need evidence to, I just don't like when a scapegoat is blamed instantly without evidence. Just show me the evidence they're involved in X, Y, and Z, and I'll accept it as I always have. So.
This show is Israel's fault. Thank you for calling, Nicole.
I'm against low IQ racism, with the key being low IQ.
I want highbrow and thoughtful.
I want like Jared Taylor, Chris Langan style stuff.
This is why you're the 100th most
you have
influential.
to have your pinky out.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you don't get murdered.
I want it with the hard R, but pronounced with that soft, posh British accent. That's what
I feel like with a British accent, the A though sounds better. I'm not going to test this theory, but
thank you for calling, Nicolio.
Well, Carl Benjamin got in trouble for that a few years back.
Yeah, I missed that actually.
Thank you for being a real person on the internet too. We appreciate you.
How do you know that?
We don't. He's right. We don't.
really don't.
And now that he's off the call, he's going to go, all right, I can go back to being who I really am.
He has to get back to his truck driving job. He's on the road. He's got a deadline to meet. Okay, Lobster Saurus, are you there?
Yo.
Yes, I am, but I'm getting an echo. Are you guys as well?
We are not. So as long as you can put up with it, we'll be good. I apologize for that, but what I'm hearing is what the stream is hearing, so we should be good.
Okay, cool. That sounds fine with me then.
All right.
Okay, cool. How are you guys doing? Oh, we got the Mads and Bads.
Good.
It's you get a rare Wednesday Matt P. So enjoy it
in the flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say it. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about Sophie of Dundee.
Yeah.
I understand I only have a short amount of time to do so, but my big concern is, so we all love her right now, like obviously, and we'll continue to love her because she's an absolute fucking unit who protected her sister. Nobody can fucking talk bad about that. But the thing is this is going to mar her identity for the rest of her life. And I'm really curious about, like, I understand they're doing a lot to try to censor a lot of, of the case because they are minors. Like, fuck the migrants, who cares about them? But because they are minors. And I'm just really concerned because this girl is going to have to deal with this image of her for the rest of her life. And obviously she did nothing wrong. Nobody can refute that. So I was just curious what you guys think about that.
I think she needs
I think she should lean into it.
Yeah,
I think she should lean into it, yeah.
Partner, do a podcast with Shiloh Hendricks. There's a lot of ideas we can. We'll have her on this show.
It's kind of I gather you guys are kind of tongue in cheek, but there is a serious component to it too. The people that are going to be pissed off at her for being that person, that's the way they are. I don't know. There's no point in trying to appease them, and frankly, trying to appease them would put your family at a disadvantage too. Put yourself in danger.
Exactly. And she's
ditch the knife and the axe. Upgrade to a basket-hilted broadsword.
There you go. It's totally unfair to her. You're right. But life is largely about how you respond to it, and she's going to have to respond to this, or at least figure out how to shape her adulthood within this context. Now, I don't know. I hope that she doesn't grow up to seek attention on this basis. Like if she did the whole, remember me, I'm the little girl from that old meme, and now I'm 25, and look at me now, and she has knives. You know, like if she leaned into it in like a self-serving way, like a look at me internet way, I don't know that would be wise, just because.
You mean like the catch me outside girl sort of thing?
Well, yeah. I just mean like when people become memes on the internet and then they sort of return later to show what they look like now. I don't know if it'd be wise to promote herself on this basis, is what I'm saying. But I don't want her to run away from it either. She has nothing to apologize for. That actually did take tremendous bravery for such a young girl. But there's no, I don't know. Am I wrong? Should that be her brand as an adult, you know? Or should she have a normal life on the other side of this?
She should have the option, but that option may have been taken from her now.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Batman's got my my heart, because that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make is, can she have a normal life after this? Because her image will always be this, even though she's only 12 years old. Like imagine whenever she's like 18, 19, 20, and she's applying and stuff like that, and they do a little bit of background research on her LinkedIn or what have you, and they find that.
Yeah. Well, I would hope.
Fortunately, her name I don't believe has ever been released because
it is out there. I have seen it in some stores.
Is it?
Yeah, it is out there, and the sisters.
Yeah, dude, she's fully doxxed.
Yeah.
I was unaware of that.
Here's how she lives a normal life. Now, the reason what happened to her is so abnormal, at least in any sensible society, is because of the question that many are asking in response to that story. Where the hell are all the decent men? Why are 12 and 14-year-old girls defending themselves with blades from crazy migrant guys trying to pick them up, calling them sexy? So the way that she has a normal life is with a proper man who protects her. Now, maybe that's wishful thinking, but I would hope for her sake that she grows up to be a wife who is properly protected by a good and decent man. That's the way that she lives a normal life. That's the way that she's properly shielded from all the wolves out here. And I hope that's what happens, but I know that everything is so screwed up. Finding a spouse who properly fills their traditional roles in that way, it's tough for women. It's tough for men. It's not easy for anybody. But maybe she can, if there is a way to use her brand now to find a prosperous future, it's to find the right man, perhaps. Like if I had a son and I was in Scotland, I'd be like, you're marrying that girl. It is decided. It's arranged. You are giving her the future that she deserves, and that's all there is to it.
I don't know, man. I think any guy that she marries now is going to have to present himself with a kilt and a claymore.
Well, she deserves a proper Scottish man, and my sons would not be that, you know. But she deserves like the son of groundskeeper Willie. She deserves that guy. Yeah,
she's always going to be the biggest man in the house.
Anyway,
all right.
Do you have a final thought for us, Mr. Lobster? Yeah.
Yeah. My short final thought is, dude, I'm deeply concerned because, I mean, look at this 12-year-old girl dual wielding, trying to protect her sister. And then now that shit's going to affect her for the rest of her entire life. Like whether or not she is deemed innocent or not, like, God bless, dude.
Yeah, indeed. Well, thank you for the call. Appreciate your support for the show as always.
Do you mind if I run up to the bathroom really quick?
No, you're fired if you do that.
All right, I'll pee my pants.
You're fired.
We could talk a little. If you need to step out, go ahead. I'll riff with Batman a little bit about Sophie of Dundee. Batman, you're familiar with that case? I take it, right?
Than anyone's ever gone.
Yeah.
So the thing that's fascinating to me about Sophie of Dundee, having posted a video about it today, looking at the story in retrospect, because it actually happened when I was on break in August last year, so I didn't really pay attention to it when it happened. I was kind of off the internet. But looking back at the original video, like, it's one of those where you see it and yeah, I know what that is. It's a weird, creepy migrant trying to pick up like 12, 13, 14-year-old kids. What the hell is this? Good thing she had blades to get that guy to go away. And yet critical mass of society, maybe it's half of people, maybe more, look at that and think, oh yeah, that's clearly a racist little girl attacking a migrant with blades because she can't stand foreigners. And that is a sensible view to a large chunk of society. I don't understand how people.
It's further proof that democracy was a mistake.
It's further proof of a lot of stuff, I guess. It's crazy to me because any sensible person can. You look at I don't even care that he's a migrant. If I see video of a guy effectively chasing after young girls and heckling them, I got a lot of questions about that guy. There's almost no circumstance in which an adult man should be chasing girls of that age while they plead with him to be left alone. They're scared out of their minds. You can hear it in the video. Doesn't matter if he's Bulgarian, doesn't matter if he's Pakistani, doesn't matter if he's actually Scottish. That guy's a creeper. That guy's a weirdo. He belongs sitting at a table being questioned by Christiansen. And people see that and they think like, oh yeah, what a shame. I know what it's like to be a poor brown man walking in Scotland. He's not even brown. He's like Bulgarian, which is like Turkey or something.
Yeah, like Bulgarian or Albanian or some shit like
that.
Yeah. Like he's going to look like a white dude.
But how did anybody possibly think that was anything other than what it actually was? I'm baffled by that. It amazes me.
Well, part of the issue, of course, is that this took place in Europe, and Europe is a captured, pussified area. So
I guess so.
You're not going to change the minds of people who have already given up.
All right. Well, we got to get into some super chat, and then we'll get into some voicemails and some emails. So let's pull those up. I got to give a quick refresh on our chats. We'll get into it here. What do we got? Might have to hop over to Rumble first. We're actually good on Rumble. On YouTube and Tippy, Injured Guardian says Texas, Oklahoma, and Alaska oil is preferable to overseas options. I would agree. I wish the Strait of Hormuz couldn't mess up gas prices the way that it has, but I think the reality is it's all part of a global market too. So even if we were self-sufficient, if you mess up a huge piece of the global supply chain, it's still going to impact our prices. I guess maybe someone could explain to me why that wouldn't happen, but
I just realized I had myself muted when I came back. I thought you guys were too cool for me. But
I didn't. Sorry, I didn't even.
No, it's all good. I was like, I guess I'm not part of the group anymore because I had to pee.
You've been demoted to 105th most influential New Jersey.
No, I'm already like 120th because I'm the structure. I'm not. No one cares.
K-Dog Mulligan. It's a good time to remind. Oh, are we doing the trade-off or is that a Sunday thing?
Yeah, we can trade off.
You can trade off, but Batman doesn't have the chats. That's the only thing.
All right. Well,
doesn't matter.
He's here for moral support.
Okay. He's here to think of wood chipper jokes. All right.
It's a good time to remind everyone that right now, as Matt clumsily obfuscates his homosexuality, there are millions of people all over the world.
What?
I'm not gay.
Millions of gay people?
I guess. I don't know.
Probably, yeah, more than that.
There's a lot fewer in Palestine.
Yeah,
well,
they're all gone.
For a bunch of reasons right now, I guess.
Because they're being used to pave the roads, yes.
Yeah. All right. Tim says, what was an appropriate song, or that was an appropriate song. Sorry, let's try again. That was an appropriate song for listener Dave to use as reference, as Darren Hayes from Savage Garden is himself gay. I didn't know. What's even funnier is he released an album in 2022 called Homosexual. That sounds like BS, but to quote Joe Biden, not a joke. I'm going to have to look that up. Darren Hayes, Homosexual. Now, I'm still going to allow it because Savage Garden, Truly Madly Deeply is such a 90s classic.
When you apply,
takes me back
when you apply for that California grant, you can use your Savage Garden Homosexual Google search as proof.
When I hear Truly Madly Deeply by Savage Garden, it's like I'm transported to a junior high dance in which I'm soaked in my armpits from nervous sweat about the prospect of having to interact with a female peer. And so that's what Savage Garden brings to mind for me.
So it is in fact it's a 2022 album called Homosexual. It was his first solo project under the label Powdered Sugar Productions.
Very gay.
Is there a song called Homosexual? I can't really play it for copyright reasons, but
it doesn't look like it that I can see.
Here's the album. Homosexual album. Yeah. And the cover art looks pretty gay. That's for sure. All right.
What is with this theme today?
What do you mean today?
Yeah, fair enough.
Injured Guardian. In all caps. Shut up, Neil, you censorious dothead.
Got him.
Back to lowercase.
Yeah.
The United Kingdom needs to revert to 1820 in dealing with these scumbags in that report. P.S. Can Robert and Batman co-host soon, please? I feel like he's asking that because I came in dead last. If I was like 20th on that list, he would have wanted me to co-host.
You know, you can actually blame the not that highly regarded Matt Palumbo for screwing up the Robert and Batman plan tonight. No, it's not his fault. Because of Matt's plans, I shifted Robert out into Sunday. So,
sorry.
If it wasn't for all these highly regarded things he has to do this weekend, this would have been the Robert and Batman show. I don't think Batman. Have you and Robert ever streamed together? Have we done that yet?
Yeah, like twice.
Okay, so we have done that. I forget who's been on with. Have you guys streamed together? Have I done all the mix and match again?
Yeah, we've done together. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we have.
Okay. Sorry, Injured Guardian. We'll try to make the desired match next time.
Next week, maybe.
Internet guy, your weekly SPLC payment. Well,
If only.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
God, I wish.
If that were an SPLC payment, it would need to have a few more zeros, I think.
Yeah, it's well, you know, we they got real Nazis to pay. Okay, we're not.
That's right.
We haven't earned our keep yet. You got Injured Guardian?
Isn't the one I just read?
Yeah, but we have another one. There's actually a few here.
Oh, it's got to refresh.
The one about the Pakistani being a baron.
Matt, he made the Pakistani a baron. Me. That should be illegal. What Bridgerton bullshit is this? They need, I'm going to mispronounce this, Cloudsley Chauvel?
I don't know what that is.
Are we just not getting any references today? What the fuck is this?
Okay, so I thought it was Shovel, but it's not. It's a guy. Hold
He
on.
was a Royal Navy officer and politician. There's going to be some guy in the comments who's like, you guys don't know Sir Cloudsley Shovel? I actually don't.
What kind of production is this?
I know.
I thought this was respectable. Yeah, he was a admiral. He was admirable too, but he was an admiral of the fleet in the Royal Navy in the late 1600s. I don't know what he did, but I assume some
He was highly regarded.
harsh shit. He didn't make Pakistanis barons, I guess.
No, he killed Pakistani rapists, is my guess.
Well, he didn't make Pakistanis barons. He made Pakistan barren.
Baron. I'm going to read his whole page after this. So
All right, that was a good one.
Got him.
K-Dog. I joined the MC Club, and one of the perks is receiving total consciousness on your deathbed. So I have that going for me.
Nice.
I didn't realize we offered that one, but I'm glad to hear it's working out. Okay.
It's a perk.
That's a good one. Thank you, K-Dog. Appreciate it.
Esoterica Unbound is in quotation marks. The plot had a high degree of organization. Is it possible that the basement revolutionaries were taking a lead from Mohammed bin ChatGPT?
Maybe.
It's a new terrorist.
Yeah. He's running them all now. He runs Al-Qaeda. He runs Hezbollah. He runs Hamas.
Well, here's the thing. He's going to take credit for something, and then you just go, oh, no, actually, you didn't do that.
Israel did.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Injured
You're
Guardian,
right about that.
Thank you, Esoterica. Injured Guardian says, first up to Ctron, me, greetings, program. Dude, this one's way over my head, Injured Guardian. You got him flying over my head all the time.
He's just trying to make us look stupid.
They're too high level,
easy,
dude.
but-
My stupid brain can't comprehend this one.
I think that's a Tron joke, right?
I've not seen Tron.
It must be.
We have to
Is
bring back
that
the
a movie
segment.
reference? That explains why.
Yeah,
Long Dong
it's a
John.
movie.
It's the last one here. Thank you, Injured Guardian.
Long
Appreciate it.
Don John. Matt and I once made love. Definitely not me. We sent a video of it to Gavin Newsom, and now Matt has a California certified gay business.
I want some butts!
True story. True
If
story.
we can defraud California, I see no reason not to do it. We'll teach them a lesson. I don't care how gay we have to be.
Oh, man. All right. Off to Rumble.
I think it's, yeah. There are a couple over on Rebel. Pothead Wino. Refusing to blame Israel for disastrous U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East is like blaming teen takeovers on Asian honors students. It's taking crazy pills, Mang. Well, I don't think anybody said, so we were talking about like whether the concept of Israeli blame. I don't think anybody said you can't be critical of them or blame them for things in which they're involved. To say that you're not saying they're exclusively to blame for what's going on in the Middle East. What I would say is, obviously, they're influential there, and we've made a lot of poor decisions. So I'm not saying they're not involved at all. But I also don't want to excuse Donald Trump himself of making these decisions and prior presidents before him. Yeah. Is he nothing more than their puppet? Maybe you believe that.
Yeah.
Some people do. I think he's a guy with agency. I think he's a guy who makes his own decisions. I think this one so far has not been a good decision. Very possible it was made with a high level of influence by BB and company, done for the interest of BB and company. Certainly think that's plausible. Yeah. I think what the caller was talking about, and probably what Matt was talking about, though of course I'll allow you to speak for yourself, is where it's just like knee-jerk reaction stuff. A thing is bad, therefore...
Boo, Jews!
There's a lot of that, too.
Yeah, I just meant
I've definitely found that if you don't shit on Israel enough, people will just call you a shill no matter what. So, fuck it.
Yeah, I think fair criticism is fair. We've made a lot of foreign policy blunders because of Israel. I think they certainly have outsized influence, even if they're not controlling each and everything. And, I just think that it discredits people, the sort of low IQ anti-Semitism where literally every single thing Trump does is either because of Israel or to cover up for the Epstein files. It's like, I'm sure some of it is, but most of it is just a guy making his own decisions.
Yeah, now, Israel can operate under this blanket of, well, they're going to blame us for everything anyway, so now we can act like douchebags, and we'll actually have kind of a smokescreen of, accusations that have been flying every which way for so long.
Yeah. And then also just invoke anti-Semitism endlessly for all eternity.
And Pothead Wino, to your point, I don't want you to feel like I'm dismissing your point entirely. I think it's fair to say if you remove Israel from the calculation that is the war in Iran, let's say that Iran was just this rogue country in the region that was mean to its neighbors and theoretically developing a nuclear weapon, but Israel was not a thing. It was just entirely Arab states in that whole region and a bunch of Muslim countries that don't really get along with each other totally, and Iran is what they are. Do you think that we go attack Iran in that situation if Israel doesn't exist? I don't think we do. I don't think that that's a situation that we involve ourselves in. Would you guys disagree? Agree?
I disagree. Donald Trump has been talking since the 1980s about not letting Iran get a nuke, and it's largely because they've been screaming from the hilltops for a very long time, for decades, for as long as the IRGC has existed, that, death to America. So if they're trying to get a nuke and they want us dead enough to teach it to their children and scream it from the rooftops, come on.
But why do they say death to America?
Boo, Jews!
Maybe they mean the continent. They're not talking about just the U.S.
That's right. Yeah, those Canadian fuckers.
Yeah, they hate Canada. They hate they hate Central America. They hate South America.
That's the 15th term in the Memorandum of Understanding. Death to Canada. The U.S. and Iran agree in principle on the concept of death to Canada. We've come together.
I remember I had a professor in college who thought it was like offensive that we call ourselves America when also Canadians are Americans, and I'm like, yeah, try to sell that to Canadians, identifying them as Americans. They would fucking revolt against you. Are you kidding me? I hate that term.
Skulldugger's last one here. You want to grab that one?
Yeah. To prove your gay credentials, they give you a golf ball and a garden hose.
Jeez.
You can deal
Thank
with
you,
that.
Mr. Arlie Ermy.
Also, Palumbo's new name is Matt P. P.
Got him!
I have to go pee.
Got him!
The bladder was full. 40 ounces in me, all right?
All right. Thank you, Skulldugger. Okay. We are going to call our chats there for now.
I'll have to just circle back with you.
Come back to chats at the end of the show. We have to get into some voicemails. Before we get into voicemails, a friendly reminder, if you'd like to contribute a voicemail, email, let's see, pull that up. Here we go. Voicemail, email, text message to the show. You do that through the contact page on my website, mattchristiansenmedia.com/contact is how you do it. First voicemail tonight is from an unidentified caller. Wants to talk about social media or a social media interaction that he had and hate on Elon Musk this week for all his wealth.
Hey, Matt. Hey, everyone listening. I just wanted to complain about a post that I made on social media, specifically Facebook, about the Southern Poverty Law Center. And I was just talking about how generally the Biden administration was completely complicit in all of this, aware of all of this, and how stupid it is that they still used it to hate Trump, even though they were paying the people that were supporting him. Regardless, the best part about this was, at least for the audience's sake, I got a comment from one of my coworkers that said Trump could literally, I'm going to paraphrase, she said, Trump could literally rape your mother and all you would do is help him by holding up her legs. And admittedly, I mean, it's kind of funny, but come on, people. The Trump derangement syndrome of my old coworkers that are posting under my own comments. And of course, I went back, tried to talk to her, tried to talk some sense into her, and another friend. Nobody wants to talk common sense. So the big thing I wanted to talk about was the situation with Elon Musk, where everyone is hating on him for his wealth. But I want to know, back in the day, Henry Ford's day, was there newspapers spouting the same kind of communist propaganda saying we should eat, Henry Ford, we should tax Henry Ford, how dare he be modernizing car manufacturing? Like, has this just been going on forever? And are we on a good trajectory? And is the future looking bright? Or are we really on the cusp of, say, a communist takeover and Mamdani for president? Because I feel both ways depending on the day. Sometimes things feel great. Sometimes things feel terrible. And I would love it if the audience could chime in and if you guys had a good opinion on it. Thanks.
Well, speaking of Henry Ford and newspapers, there's some interesting things you might stumble upon there.
Did they hate him for his wealth, or was it?
Oh, do you know the reference?
Well, I know that Henry Ford had a history of
he started a paper called the Dearborn Independent, and he was he had some interesting takes. I'll leave it at that.
I believe the headline was
"Boo Jews."
That was pretty much the headline. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that and I mean, Hitler had a picture of Henry Ford in his office.
Yeah. Yeah. Henry
they were buddies.
Henry Ford, I think, is the only American that Hitler mentions in Mein Kampf. So he was
really.
Yeah. The two were fans of each other.
Well, It was a little bit hard to hear if you didn't hear his social media post, where the response to his social media post was, Trump could rape your mom and you would help by holding up her legs. Okay. And as we were talking about, there is a such thing as the Red Hat clan, as I stupidly called them, the Red Hat cult. They do exist. Those are real people out there, but the larger volume is certainly the opposite. People who make Trump hate their entire identity, their entire personality. And these are
why
people
the term
for whom,
TDS was coined.
Yeah. I mean, the classic statement is, Trump could have a cure for cancer. Your mom could be on her cancer deathbed, and Dr. Trump could come in ready to save her, and you'd say, no, I will not allow Trump to save my mom. The way you know you're in a cult is when you actually refuse to engage with anybody with a different opinion. And ironically, it sounds like that's exactly what this person did, that when he said, okay, I guess, can I tell you how I would not let Trump rape my mom? And she didn't want to hear it. So who's really in the cult there?
I mean, it's not fully a cult. I mean, the vaccine is kind of a perfect example where Trump was like, we did it in record time. We're going to save all these lives. It's the greatest achievement in my administration. There's one quote where he actually said something like that to one extent. And his diehard supporters were like,
what the fuck are you doing?
I don't think so. I don't think so. We're not taking that. So, it's I don't know. It would be like if Jim Jones was like, drink the Kool-Aid, and all his supporters were like, I don't think we will. Yeah. And then the people who hate him for some reason are like, we'd love to. It was the weirdest inversion. But
Trump has lost a lot of his core support on a lot of things. The vaccine was one example. Iran is certainly another.
That's been forgotten though. But yeah.
Now, on the topic of wealth envy, I don't know if Henry Ford was hated for his wealth, or whether we are in a unique time of hating or hate or envy for the wealthy, as we see with Elon Musk, who became the world's first trillionaire this week after the SpaceX IPO and all that. Now, just on the general topic of this envy, though, there is a reason that envy is a sin. Living in envy, with an envious view of the world, it is counter to your own health and the general prosperity of everybody else. Because to prosper means to build things means to earn, and to earn means to have wealth. That's the way that these things work out. So if instead you devote your time to trying to take from others, it's inherently destructive. While other people are building, which results in wealth, you focus on your desire to have their things instead of building your own. You take, that destroys things. But the most interesting thought on this that I saw this week was actually from Graham Plattner, the Nazi tattoo guy, maybe the future senator from Maine. But he posted something that's hard to believe. It was unironic. This is sincere. Elon Musk just became the world's first trillionaire. Let's make sure he's also the last. And I have so many questions about this philosophy. Number one, how do you make sure that someone doesn't build too much wealth in your mind? Do you put him in prison? Do you kill him? If so, what reason does the next guy have to build nice things and to have wealth? Why don't you want more trillionaires?
I think I responded. I think I responded to this comment with something to the effect of, "How, by gassing him?"
Yeah, it doesn't.
Well,
what are you going to do?
I'm surprised this point hasn't been made more, but the existence of trillionaires is also a commentary on runaway inflation, in that if you adjust Elon Musk's wealth in 2019 dollars, he's not a trillionaire. Like he's worth 500 billion in that year in terms of actual purchasing power. And you know, I know obviously assets are not our net worth is not liquidity. And I think only 3 or 4% of SpaceX's shares right now are actually free float that are trading. So obviously all the demand for the stock is going against 4% of the shares in circulation. So, you know, I'm not going to make a prediction where the stock will go so I don't get sued. But if I were to place a bet, I would assume it's probably not going to sustain that kind of valuation. But you never really know with Elon Musk.
Even if you have this taker philosophy that somehow we're going to take our way to prosperity, which is bunk in concept, but let's say that's what you believe. If we just take enough, we can provide education, housing, healthcare for everybody, and it'll be utopia. Don't you want super rich guys from whom to take, though? Like, how do you create this society without the trillionaires from whom to take? Yeah. If he's the last trillionaire, there aren't any more. How do you build these things that you want to build? From whom do you take? How do you take? This guy could be in the Senate this time next year.
I mean, I can't remember if I made this point on Sunday, but like Ro Khanna, who I think is worth at least $250,000 thanks to his wife, was speaking out against Musk becoming a trillionaire. Elizabeth Warren is worth in the tens of millions and is speaking out about this. Like, we're a country that's so wealthy that a guy with $250,000 is complaining about people making too much money.
Do you mean billion? Or
no, million, 250 million, I think.
So he has 250 mil, not 250,000.
Yeah, 250 million. Ro Khanna has $250 million in net worth.
Quarter billion.
But the fact that you can have $250 million and be bitching about someone making too much money is like a sign of how wealthy America is.
Well, yeah. And what's the difference? Like, okay, we got rid of Elon Musk. He's the last trillionaire, but everybody else has $999 billion in assets. What's the difference? Why? Yeah. Who cares?
No one is made poorer because valuation of a stock you own goes up. Like it's wealth creation. The thing is too. A lot of these people think wealth is a fixed pie, and obviously is not. I mean, if wealth was a fixed pie, as every year the population goes up, everyone would be getting progressively poorer because assets and resources would be getting split between a greater and greater amount of people.
And that's why you have to get over that feeling of envy for somebody else's success. You look at your neighbor who has a nice house or a nice car, and you have to check yourself if you're feeling, well, that guy didn't deserve that. He didn't. What did he do to get that? But okay, if instead you think, wow, maybe if I work hard and build something, I could achieve something similar. And then the counter they always say is, well, what do you think? You're not going to be a trillionaire, bro.
Yes, I am.
You're not going to be a trillionaire. I probably won't. You're right. But I bet if I work really hard, I might be able to build nice things for my family and have a nice life with them. And a nice life with my family is worth $1 trillion to me. So
I do own one of those $100 trillion Zimbabwe notes. So kind of am
a trillionaire in a certain sense
in former Rhodesia.
But nobody can build that life and that success for you. You have to do it for yourself. And yes, some people are going to be more successful than others. But sitting around with your arms folded, being mad about other people's success has never made anybody happy, prosperous, wealthy, better off, any of those things.
And we have just explored the roots of communism.
Yes. I have another question about communism in the email section, actually. But voicemail 2 is from Loyal Woodstock listener, and he wants to talk about inflation.
Hello, Mr. Christiansen, your loyal Woodstock listener calling in again. First of all, thank you for the discussion about my question from a few weeks ago about Dr. J, the Science Day. I think Skulldugger hit on what I was thinking when I called in. Also, I'm calling in to tell you something you've been asking about, and I've been forgetting to tell you, but that 2% target inflation, the reason why they target 2% is that is the rate at which they can steal from you without you noticing. That's the bad news. The worst news is that all of our inflation data is entirely made up because since Bill Clinton in the 1990s, most subsequent administrations have changed the way they calculate inflation to make it look better. So they're stealing from us through inflation. We just don't know how fast. Thank you again, and thank you for the show.
If you look at the CPI data under Joe Biden, where I think their numbers were that inflation was up 30% under Biden, and I mean, you can just disprove that by looking at your grocery bill over 4 years or really any expense. But in the CPI's numbers, the portion that was healthcare spending, according to them, declined by double-digit percentages. So when you see that 30% number, that's in the computation, it's saying healthcare costs went down by double digits. Well, I mean, mine went up double digits every single year under Biden, and I think that's true for everyone. Like, it usually goes up above inflation. So there are parts of the data that is kind of made up, or at least was under Biden, that understated it. That is for sure happening. Yeah.
I figured, and thank you for the insight on this to the caller. I figured there is no real reason why 2% is the target. It's obviously arbitrary to the extent it's a government target, but it's funny to hear it phrased that way. That's just the sweet spot they've found where they can steal from you and get away with it. Because the very concept of the government targeting a certain number, a certain inflation number, implies that they kind of pull levers of control to make that so. Yeah, and if they pull the levers to make it so, it's because they want it that way. And if something that benefited the consumer was the want, well, there would be no inflation. That would be the goal. No inflation, maybe even prices going down. Yeah. So it makes perfect sense when you phrase it that way. 2% is just what they can get away with without people really feeling it on an annual basis. And I'm sure that's scientifically determined. So, thank you for the Fed's
target for a while. I mean, when you have an expanding economy, if you have more goods changing hands and you have the money supply increase to reflect that, percent increase in transactions, it will not cause inflation. It's all relative to the amount of goods being traded. So you do have a margin of error there, but the point being, it's usually a hell of a lot worse than 2%, as we've seen the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Batman, you have any inflation thoughts before I move into emails?
Nope, think it's been covered.
All right. Let's talk some emails here. Pull those up. Dagalicious is up first, and this is a hypothetical about immigration. So last week I had an immigration question about how I would shape my own policy if I was in charge, and that's what he's referencing. But he said it. Dagalicious says, I was listening to last Wednesday's show when you were answering a question about your opinion on the maximum number of immigrants you would legally allow and what the qualifications should be. After thinking about how I would answer the question myself, the only answer I could come up with was 0 legal immigrants. Instead, we should only offer permanent residence, green card status to people who want to come here. They get largely the same rights as citizens minus the eligibility to run for office and vote, and are subject to deportation if they get out of line. Let them make a new life here, and their kids can become citizens if they're born here. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but I feel like we're providing opportunity, the opportunity for a better life, and we don't owe anyone any more than that. Curious your thoughts, what your thoughts would be on that. As always, love the show.
We love you. You're very special.
Well, I was going to say, like, if we're going to make the argument or accept the left's argument that there are jobs Americans just won't do, which it basically is maybe best case scenario, just agriculture. If we were to say, all right, listen, we're just going to keep in illegal aliens and give them some sort of temporary status just for agriculture, that still results in like 29 million people being deported, at least. Like it's what, 1 million people tops, maybe 500,000 we would actually need for that out of, I don't know, 30 to 50 million illegals. We don't even really know how many there are, but it's like, if that really was the reason we were keeping them here, you can still deport 99% of them and be fine.
So
I think he says I hope I'm not being too harsh or whatever. I don't think you're being harsh enough. No. I think the fact that you are still leaving the anchor baby situation open is right. I think that's a major flaw in your plan. I'm not trying to like point fingers or like crap on you or anything.
A lower form of anchor babies, to be fair, not like straight illegals or temporary visitors.
No. Their kids can become citizens.
Permanent residents, they're still vetted and they're legally here, is what he's saying.
Right,
not just illegals.
It still says there that and their kids can become citizens if they're born here, which I think is these green card, part of the problem.
For these green card holders, is what he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I still think that's part of the problem.
It's a more restricted form than what we have now. Is the only point I'm making. But yeah, I take your point that you would scale that back. Yeah. So I actually think this is a pretty good option, what he describes here. My point when I was describing how I would design this is there exists a select population of immigrants who have wealth and businesses and things they'd like to build in the United States, and it would benefit American workers and consumers if they built those businesses here. However, there is difficulty in implementing that system. The difficulty is accounting for actual loyalty to the United States. And in this system, where you're going with a permanent residence instead of citizenship, we didn't really get into that when I was talking about like what should the legal status be for these people that you're bringing in. By going with permanent residence over citizenship, only ongoing, you're giving ongoing permission to be here, but you're withholding a lot of those most important things that you're talking about. So voting, being in public office, all that stuff. But most importantly, to what I was considering last week, it creates an accountability mechanism for that disloyalty to the United States. So let's say you come here, you have a business, you have whatever that you're building here, you're a permanent resident, and then you start like spouting off a bunch of anti-American nonsense or doing a bunch of nonsense that undermines the country. You then can be removed under this structure. If they were citizens, then they got First Amendment protection. And there's nothing much you can do about that. So I do like that your system achieves the aims that I was looking for, which is let's get that select group of people who want to bring genuine wealth and opportunity to this country with a mechanism to remove those who actually don't like this country very much. So I appreciate this one, though I certainly take Batman's point on, does that entitle their children to citizenship? That's question that might have to be ironed out. Do you guys have any other thoughts on that one?
Deport everyone.
Yeah.
Just get them out.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Chief Justice, about a decade ago, I saw a comment on a progressive Facebook page saying something along the lines of the problem of racism is purely limited to white hatred of people of color. When people of color do it toward white people, when people of color do it toward white people, when they're racist to white people, it is simply self-preservation. Do you think that in reality, sorry, I can't read this one.
Let's try that in reality, the opposite is true? Yes, okay. I do. That's what I was thinking as I was facepalming.
In a word.
Yes!
Indeed.
Yeah.
So
you don't see gangs of white people running around raping children.
Yeah.
Now, I think the opposite, of course, is currently more true. These things could change over time, but we're talking about what's going on right now. Once upon a time, maybe white racism against racial minorities dominated, but these days there are very few genuinely racist white people in any positions of influence, and if they are, they keep it closely guarded. They don't say it out loud. Anti-white racism is not self-preservation in that way. It's not self-preservation from white aggression, because that white aggression really doesn't exist. It is actually self-promotion for white applause. That's what anti-white racism is. It is to glorify yourself and get claps from white people who believe in this nonsense. So it's not self-preservation.
No, remember, they don't clap because it causes people anxiety. You have to do that faggy snap thing that they do.
The beat poetry thing.
Yeah.
but there are certainly more self-loathing white people now than there are actually racist white people, at least outspoken, actually racist white people. I guess the counter, they'd say, well, they're all secretly racist and they do racist things in subtle ways and they don't actually say it out loud. I don't know, man. I don't know a lot of people, and I've met very few people who are genuinely racist in that way. Like, don't believe in judging the individual at all. If someone is X demographic, I will not associate with them in any way. I know hardly anybody who thinks that way. And that's even in like an informal social setting. Have I ever encountered anybody like that in a professional or academic setting? No. And they'd be punished if they said anything remotely close to that.
Yeah, I've never met anyone like that ever. It'd be horrible.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. People.
Well, I guess I did hire a guy once, maybe. Okay, Trevor. What I would like to count, this one's a little bit long. I'm going to allow it, Trevor, because I do think the point is worth considering. But I will remind everyone, Trevor included, if you can be brief with your email submissions, that is appreciated.
Guy wrote a fucking mini series.
I know. This is practically a highly regarded Matt Palumbo book right here.
Exactly. Except someone's actually reading it, so it's not.
Okay, so Trevor, and I did have to cut this down just a little bit, Trevor, but what I would like to comment on tonight goes back 8 to 9 months to almost a throwaway comment between you and your occasional
Kaniga
co-host, Joshy Boy. The comment is how the left always tries to convince us that real communism has never been tried, and reliably the response from the right is that of course it has, and how it never works. See every communist experiment in history. The reply always rankles me. That's a word I've never heard of. Rankle. You guys heard that one before?
I've heard it.
Yeah. Okay. I assume irritates me, I'm guessing. All right. The reply always rankles me because the truth is that real communism has been tried. And it worked. The answer is in Genesis. The Garden of Eden is the exact embodiment of a communist utopia. No one needed to labor. Food was in abundance. Adam and Eve were perfectly safe. It was everything Marx and the rest of them promise, but failed to deliver. Herein is where the true lie of communism is exposed. Only through God's direct involvement can we realize that communism tries to promise generation after generation, or realize what it tries to promise. And worse, we still fucked it up. All it took was one stray selfish thought, and the whole thing came crashing down onto our heads. It's a lesson to us against yearning back to the garden. We cannot have communism on this earth. We cannot return to the garden. God explicitly prescribed it in Adam and Eve's respective punishments. See Genesis 3:16 through 19 and 23 through 24. And in general, I agree with this framework. The qualifier I would add, and I don't even think it's contrary to what you're saying, it's just one thing I would add, is when people say communism has never worked, the implied meaning is, yeah, as a system of government in the way you're describing. By definition, whatever God does works because the world works according to God's purposes. So,
that's right. In order to get communism to work, you need an actual act of God.
But it sounds silly, but there's the only person capable of it is God himself. And that is why I think he's onto something here where communism necessarily replaces government, man himself, with God to make that happen. I can defy the laws of the universe. I can make things happen. I can perform miracles. And so we get all these promises for things that aren't actually possible. So I agree with this framework. I think it makes a lot of sense that communism for this reason necessarily means substituting ourselves for God and suffering the consequences. So it makes sense to me, and I appreciate Trevor explaining it that way. You guys have thoughts?
I agree with the general framework of what he's saying, the intent behind it. I definitely agree. I would say that as a little bit of a nitpick, I don't think you need to be rankled about people who respond to this, because I don't think they're operating under the assumption that God has stepped in so communism will work.
Yeah. I think that to the point of irritation, I mean, I think most people who are communist critics actually would agree with this framework. They would say, yeah, communism has never worked as a human creation, as a system of government.
Well, and I mean, it works in small, basically family units too.
Yeah, of course.
The only way.
Yeah. I mean, we all run communist families here, although I did
dictatorships.
You know, I can't go into detail as to why, but I got some form letters from the state of Montana informing me that my two sons have to get jobs. So we're not communist here, all right? We're putting them to work. My two older sons, they have to get jobs. The state of Montana is demanding it. So we'll see. We'll see if we can find them some labor in the coal mines or something that.
Damn it, you beat me to it.
I'm sorry. All right. You guys have any other thoughts on communism and God?
I hate communism.
No. Well, fair enough. I hope you love God also.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
He's pretty cool.
He's a man.
Okay.
Jose Diarrhea.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know,
next up,
Pretty cool, dude.
It's not Jose Diarrhea. It's
Javier Baccaria.
right. With all these clips of black progressive activists and Jasmine Crockett defending Carmelo Anthony, I was wondering if you've stumbled across any clips of white leftists defending Anthony or any posts on social media from white leftists defending him. If not, do you think the Carmelo Anthony case is a bridge too far for white leftists? So
I've seen some.
I had seen basically
I
nobody. I was trying to think of examples earlier today. I don't see any high-profile white people taking up the Carmelo Anthony torch.
It's wigger white trash as one kind of people. They're the kind of people that if you and I had the power, we just expelled them from the white race. They're not. I don't want to deal with them, really.
I didn't know I craved that power, but all right, I guess I do.
Power.
You have been excommunicated.
Yeah, you're just gone. You're out. Thomas Sowell, you're in. Like, you know, you can make some exceptions here and there.
See, you just said, you implied that you're so racist you wouldn't do such a thing, and here you are expelling wiggers in favor of Thomas Sowell. So you can't be that racist. There are things that matter more than race, indeed.
Well, of course. I don't know. I think, you know, the left obviously is extremely obsessed with race. And I think a lot of people on the right have, in response to that, concluded, well, it's not something we should obsess about because crazy leftists are obsessing about it. But they're obsessing about it for all the wrong reasons. They're obsessing about it to draw hatred against white people. And I don't have, like... if you're going to come after me, I have to come after you. There's you guys started it, and we see too. Like, it's not just white leftists with the Carmelo Anthony case. Like, the racial tribalism in non-white communities is it's everywhere. It's before this it was the O.J. Simpson case. Before the O.J. Simpson case, it was something else, and it goes back hundreds of years. And everyone on our side loves to say, "Oh, it's not race, it's culture." Okay, let's go look at Africa, where there's no Democrats running Africa. How's that doing? Like, give me a fucking break. Sorry for swearing.
What? You haven't sworn enough.
No, it's like the third time. It's trashy. I know. I'm sorry.
You've already been knocked down. You're less influential as a young New Jerseyan by the minute.
I'm not on next year.
So, when you say you've seen a few, though, do you know any off the top of your head, like high-profile left-wing people who did this?
It's TikTok idiots that are like now going viral on Twitter because it's all content getting recycled.
I think that Jose Diarrhea, he may have identified something here that cold-blooded murder in public actually is a bridge too far. This is the one. Now, I guess Black Lives Matter don't matter, or Black Lives don't matter that much. Carmelo Anthony finally broke the mold in that way.
I don't really agree necessarily, because I mean, if cold-blooded murder was a bridge too far, they wouldn't have been cheering after Charlie Kirk's death. And
that's
I saw
true.
A lot of people fucking celebrating. I'll go ahead and swear with no remorse.
If it could be shown that Austin Metcalf was a Charlie Kirk fan, then they'd probably have marched in favor of Carmelo Anthony. Yeah. I think the difference was there was just no demonstration that Austin Metcalf was a political enemy of theirs. Maybe.
He's white, of course he is.
Well, I get, but they weren't willing to come out and celebrate the cold-blooded murder of a generic white kid. Charlie Kirk is not generic in that way. Yeah.
I mean, I won't say that like it's high-profile people. I mean, largely they've been pretty silent on it. But I mean, I've seen sort of people I used to go to school with and stuff like that who've been going, free Carmelo Anthony if the weight races were reversed, blah, 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 blah. Of course, these are people who celebrated Charlie Kirk's death too. And I shat on them for that as well.
You know, the right is finally winning when liberals are so demoralized, they're doing the imagine if the races were reversed bit. Like, we've come full circle. Finally.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank God.
All right. Last one. Thank you, Jose. Appreciate it.
Mr. Diarrhea.
Toffs actually just brought, or TOFTS, I don't know if this is an acronym or the name, but this emailer just brought a story to my attention. It's the Preston Davey case. And Batman, this is what I was telling you about before live, and I think I mentioned it with you, Matt, as well. Actually, this is one of those, like the lesbian abuse case in Canada. I'm going to issue an actual trigger warning, okay? Like the subject matter of this story is so disturbing that if you don't want your mindset ruined a little bit, this might be a good segment to skip. This is absolutely hideous stuff. So Preston Davey case is the case of what was just it's a recently concluded murder trial in the UK. And Preston Davey was a 13-month-old baby who was murdered by the two gay men who adopted him. The murder actually happened back in July of 2023. And both of these gay dads that you see on your screen are convicted of various crimes against the boy. The guy on the left, Jamie, is convicted for the murder. His quote unquote partner, I don't know if they're married or not. I only saw the use of the word partner in this reporting. But his fellow gay guy, John, is convicted of other crimes, including sexual assault. And the other charges are completely sick. Assault by penetration, sexual assault of a child, taking indecent photos and videos of a child. And again, this boy was 13 months old when they murdered him. And I have a lot of questions about the method of murder. Suffocation by having an object placed in his mouth. Okay, I don't know exactly what that means, but there's not any good explanation for whatever that does mean. And this baby, this poor little boy, his mom didn't do him any favors, unfortunately. His mom has been in and out of prison. She's a convicted murderer herself. She's also a drug addict. And so Preston, this little boy Preston, was born 4 months premature back in 2022. And he was healthy, but because of his mom's problems, the local government applied for interim care for him. He was taken out of mom's custody. Now, his mom, Sarah, also has an older child, and that boy was in the care of his grandmother. This is Sarah's mom, Debbie. Debbie Davey was taking care of that boy. Now, Debbie, in this case, was starting breast cancer treatment. She's older. She's mid-60s. She has breast cancer. And the emailer says that Debbie, so grandmother denied custody because of breast cancer. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong. I didn't see that in this reporting. This reporting in the Telegraph that I saw implies that she did not want to be the child's caretaker because of that breast cancer situation, or was unable to. I didn't see any reporting that said she was denied, but I'm a little bit unclear of the circumstances as to why grandma didn't take this kid when she took the older brother. But social services had this boy with a straight foster couple. It was the Cooper family. This little boy spent the first 10 months of his life with the Cooper family, and the Cooper family actually had provided foster care for 43 kids over the last 27 years. So this is a couple with a great record, presumably. I assume if they're taking care of that many kids, they can't have a lot of blemishes on that record. And then social services allowed this gay couple to adopt the boy. And unfortunately, the boy did not last very long in the custody of the gay guys. And Grandma Debbie is now alleging that she thinks social workers and others overlooked the obvious abuse that was happening precisely because these guys are gay. Yeah. They didn't want to be viewed as homophobic. And there were apparently...
That never happens in the UK.
Well, you've seen various examples of this happening where there are obvious abuses happening from gay couples, and social workers they see the signs and they look the other way because you don't want to be a bigot. Among the obvious signs that were missed, there were 3 hospital visits before the murder. And again, these guys had the baby for a matter of months. Okay, 3 hospital visits in a few weeks or a couple. It was a lot. And they weren't hospital visits like, oh, baby's got a cough. Oh, baby's having digestive problems. Medical staff noticed body bruises during these hospital visits. In one case, the information was actually referred to social services, referred to the government, but social services did nothing, at least in terms of intervention. They just, looks like an accident, whatever. social workers visited the home several times before the murder, but failed to notice injuries that are believed to have been present before the murder. There were 40 external and internal bruises on this poor little boy, as well as injuries consistent with sexual assault later discovered. What are injuries consistent with sexual assault on a 13-month-old child? What the hell are we even talking about? It's not specified. You make your own assumptions about what that means. So this ends up being exactly like that Toronto case that we talked about recently with those lesbians that locked the poor little boy in the basement and starved him to death, even though social workers, healthcare workers had observed the abuse. Oh, we don't want to be bigots. We're not going to say anything. We're not going to do anything. And then you had the cliff diving lesbians in the United States in 2018 who had bounced from state to state. They had been watched by social workers, Wisconsin, Oregon, I believe. They went to California and did this stunt. We have seen this variations of this story happening several times now, where children are given to gay couples. Social services knows there are problems within that gay household, abuse of those children, and they look the other way because gays, and kids are dying for this. To be the tolerant, welcoming, love is love crowd, we are committing literal child sacrifice in service to that ideal. And I know these are isolated, okay? I know these are not all hashtag, but in no other context would we allow people to get away with this sort of abuse of children. Imagine if the races were reversed. Imagine if the sexes were reversed. If this is normal mom and dad, if the foster couple, the Coopers, had showed up to the hospital 3 times with their baby with 40 bruises, that baby's getting taken away 100%. Also, by the way, one other sickening part of this story. Can you guys guess? So, which guy is it? The guy who committed the murder. So that would be Jamie, the guy on the left.
Yeah.
The guy who committed the murder by suffocation with an object placed in the mouth. What's his job? What do you guys think? What's his profession?
Is it going to be something horrible like school teacher or something around
Correct.
children?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Bingo.
I didn't read the story, by the way.
He's a teacher.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. So the people, I know predators self-select into professions where they're going to be around kids. So that's why it's like exactly a lot of it's very common among teachers.
Last thing I want to add, now, of course, primary responsibility rests on both of these guys, okay? They are child rapists and murderers. However, this poor boy's parents did not do him any favors, okay? You got mom, who's some kind of murderer herself, in and out of prison and addicted to drugs. You got the boy's dad holding vigils for him now, and that's great, all right? I'm very sorry you lost your son, and it's good of you to stand up for your son's memory, and I hope you get justice for your son. However, Dad, where were you in 2022 when they were trying to decide how to handle this poor boy? What were you doing
then? And is
then?
there a GoFundMe attached to this?
Yeah. Like, well, why is dad showing up now on what would be his son's 4th birthday to say, oh, what a travesty. We need justice for my son. Dude, where were you to provide justice for your son when he was a living, breathing baby? What the hell were you doing?
Just ask the Alaskan Avenger. You can take care of all this with a hammer.
I don't know. It reminds me of. I think you probably covered this case years ago. There was that girl. I think her name was Micaiah Bryant, where she got shot by the cops.
Micaiah Bryant.
As she was stabbing someone, and then so she was in foster care, and then her parents all of a sudden are like, "Oh my God, we lost our daughter. We need money." And it's like you abandoned your own kid. She gets killed, and then now you want to be the responsible parent.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to bring such awful material to your attention. By that I mean both you guys and the listener. But these stories matter a lot. We have to observe these and understand these. These are massive red flags, massive warning signs for our society, and this has to get. We got a lot of problems to clean up quick, but this child sacrifice in service to the love is love lie, that we could just substitute men and women in this way. And, 2 dads that's better than 1. This is great. No, a child was taken from his mom and dad and placed into this in service to some social engineering concept. Now, taken from his parents implies that his parents don't have a part in that. They do. His parents they got questions to answer here too. But fundamentally, what are we doing here? We are using children as props in service to the interests of adults, the preferences of adults, the sexual enjoyment of adults. And then we're shocked when these children become mere sexual toys for these guys. Again, what is the whole point of this entire structure, to put a bow on this show and bring it back to where it started, is we put a dick in a butt and everything else is in service to that. Okay?
Jesus
Dick
Christ.
and butt first, everything else after that. This kid is secondary. He was placed into the custody of these guys because he's in service to the dick and butt. And then we're shocked when a child is quite literally raped to death, apparently. We operated according to that philosophy. Two men's sexual preferences were priority in this entire thing, and two men's sexual preferences killed that poor little boy. He was never the priority in any of this. And it's sick. It's sick society stuff. We got to stop.
Millions. And this is why we need to bring back some of the old, medieval and ancient execution methods. I mean, sometimes there just really isn't a quick death that's good enough for people.
Well,
bring back public executions. Sell tickets.
I agree.
Go pay down the deficit with it. It's
now this is an interesting
people would pay
case.
out the ass to see that stuff.
I would pay for it. Yeah.
This is a case so heinous in Minecraft, of course, Rajuman and company. But this is an interesting case in terms of how it fits into, say, the death penalty debate and all of this. Assuming these guys aren't framed, assuming there wasn't some misrepresentation in the case, they did exactly what they're accused of. Is there any argument against the death penalty in such a case? But to the question we were discussing before live, Batman, is there even such a thing as sufficient earthly justice? I don't even know if there is
no
a Minecraft death theoretically gruesome enough.
And no, I don't think so. But ultimately, we are limited by our physical forms. We can't
Unfortunately.
Torture. We cannot torture the soul. We can only torture the body. So,
well, I think these guys have tortured souls, maybe not by us, but tortured by something to become the absolute demons that they are. Something is, man, this is not. This is so far beyond just like, oh, I just want to love who I love. No, man. I mean, read what happened to that poor little boy. This was unimaginable demonic shit that they did to a 13-month-old. How do you? I could go on and on. I can't. It's one of those things it's impossible to believe people are capable of, but they did it.
It does bring sort of roiling up a certain primordial rage, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It rankles me. It rankles me right up.
It rankles the conscience.
Yeah. All right. As a reminder, and thank you, Toffs, for bringing that to my attention. I had not seen that story. If you'd like to send an email, voicemail, text message for consideration on the show, you can do that through the contact page on my website, mattchristiansenmedia.com/contact. That reminds me, I need to check, just make sure we don't have any stray voicemails or text messages hanging out before I move on. No, we are good. So appreciate our callers and texters and emailers. But with that, we'll get into Super Chat and we will call it a night. So what do we got? I'm going to have to give a quick refresh here. I'm going to start on Rumble because I have those pulled up, Matt.
Sure.
Laughing Boy. Matt, read the book. Answers all the reasons why we shouldn't let places like Iran get nukes. I did receive the book, so thank you for that. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of.
You're reading a book. Who's the author?
Well, it's I can't remember the.
So
well,
I'm right here, so you don't remember my name. So it's not me. Is what you mean?
No.
It's
anyway.
Whatever.
I do have the book. Thank you for sending it, and if I have spare time for reading, I will certainly give it a shot. I just right now I don't have a ton of time to sit down and read books cover to cover, but I certainly appreciate the effort of sending it. Thank you for that, and thanks for supporting the show.
Hothead Wino. I don't disagree really with anything anyone said in response to my Israel comment. I do think it's legitimate to worry about Trump seemingly ignoring U.S. intelligence and listening to Bibi and Batman.
Is that this Batman or a different?
I think so. You got Trump's ear, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, wow, I didn't realize that was quite so important.
There is that angle of it, too, that at least Tulsi Gabbard had said there's no credible intelligence that says Iran is building nukes. That was last summer. Yep. And, of course, Trump publicly contradicted her on that, challenged her on that. So, yeah, I mean, there is a question. Is that what you who's misrepresenting there? Is there intelligence that says they were and Tulsi's misrepresenting, or is there not? And Trump is saying she's wrong. But if she's wrong, that would be Trump saying that the intel assessment itself is wrong, and Bibi, I guess, is right. You know, there's got to be there's something that's got to be squared. Someone is not completely consistent with the truth in that conflict. That's for sure. Ninja Kitty Bonks, that asshole police chief, whoever he was, bitching about Elon, rather than giving a crap about the younger girls terrorized, further exposes the fall of the UK. Oh, that was the Scottish First Minister. I assume you're talking about in the Sophie of Dundee video I made. Yeah, that's the Scottish First Minister, the guy who runs Scotland. And yeah, complain. In fairness, he was asked about Elon in that exchange, like, "Oh, you see, Elon tweeted that this is something a country shouldn't do," and then he went off on it. But yeah, the idea, just the concept that in the context of, again, little girls being targeted by migrant predators, the big problem is like what a famous guy tweets about it lets you know a lot about the mentality of the leadership of that country. Okay,
Producer Tim. Side Scrollers, the podcast, does talk a bit about politics, but it's mostly a podcast about gaming and pop culture. I think you have the sort of demeanor that would fit in well as a guest. It's just whether you'd be familiar with the topics they cover.
If they want to talk about like mid 2000, like 2007 to 2015 Call of Duty and or Halo, I'm in. Nice. That's my video game era. If it's before or after that, sorry, I don't.
Did you see the guy who wrote the I don't know, the intro song for Halo just won a Republican primary?
Are you talking about
yeah,
well, that guy,
Marty
that guy's
O'Donnell.
like
yeah.
Wait, what?
Marty O'Donnell was the guy who wrote the one of the two guys who wrote the Halo theme.
Yeah, because the other guy's a famous composer, but that's not him.
What was his name again? I can't remember what seat it was, but I feel like it was a.
Like, it was a Nevada seat. Yeah, Marty O'Donnell. Look him up.
He's a composer and worked on Bungie's titles. Who's the other guy that I'm thinking of? Halo composer.
Michael Salvatore?
No. Oh, no. It's or am I thinking of Marty O'Donnell? No, it's someone. I don't know. There's some other big name who's done a bunch of movies and video games who also I thought was the Halo composer, but maybe I'm just mistaken. Let's see.
Well, he's the only video game composer I know who's running as a Republican. He just got an endorsement from Trump and a primary win. So I imagine that list is pretty. Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, but he never actually composed for Halo. That's like a false memory of mine. He didn't. No, Hans Zimmer is a famous composer.
Else.
but yeah, he didn't do Halo. That's just like a false association in my mind. So
he did Modern Warfare 2. Could that be what you're thinking of?
Maybe I confused him. Maybe I mixed up Call of Duty and Halo or something. I don't know. Anyway, okay. K-Dog Mulligan, I can disagree with Matt and his co-hosts on a handful of issues and still happily support the show because I am not an F-slur. With a thumbs up emoji and disguise face emoji. Well, thank you. You should. Yeah. I mean, I like to. Hey, I wish that I was so wise that I got everything right all the time. I don't. In fact, I probably contradict myself a few times throughout the show. So I always get a kick.
I don't think anybody is 100% consistent. You're always going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
He's not getting any California money, this guy.
Yeah, sorry, K-Dog. We're not going to include
roll
you.
Yourself out.
No, whenever chatters or emailers, whenever I hear a version of that, and I don't mean to mock people who do that. I know you mean well, but whenever people preface commentary with "I don't agree with you on everything," it's like, well, thank you.
Obviously,
what? How dare you?
It's only a pet peeve of mine when it's someone who died and they're like, "Listen, I may not have agreed with him on anything, but I do think it is sad that a 23-year-old died of cancer." And I'm like, wow, you're a great person.
That's a really brave ass stance.
Yeah, really great stance. Why preface it with that? Like, isn't that true of everyone? You don't like I don't know. I've read parts of the Bible where I'm like, I don't agree, but I don't have a choice here. You know, like. It's everything.
Thank you, K-Dog. Appreciate your support for the show.
Injured Guardian. The case involving the two PDF files, pedophiles, tempts me to test the Barnabas Sackett shotgun spread theory, followed by wood chipper utilization. Fair. Very fair.
We are going to separate them into different atoms, okay? We are going to reduce them to their elements. What I don't know what this is. There's something the Sackett family? Okay. Western novels. I don't know what their shotgun spread theory is. I'd have to look this up. Do you guys know what that is?
I just assume he means to see. I actually don't. I just assume he means he wants to shoot them with a shotgun for scientific
I just don't
reasons.
know what Barnabas Sackett did with. I assume he shot someone with a shotgun.
The Barnabas Sackett. I'm gonna look this up.
We'll see if we can get clarity.
My keyboard freezes sometimes when we're on Zoom, so I don't know if.
I'm impressed with the duct tape.
Injured Guardian. Speaking of Barnabas Sackett, we got an update here. I have a history question for Batman. Has a naval prize crew ever been known to take a second prize while piloting the first? I don't even know what that means.
So a prize crew is basically the boarding party that is there to take over a vessel from somebody else.
Okay, so they are the captain.
So, yeah. So basically, has there ever been a prize crew who took over a ship and then used that ship to take over yet another one? I'm assuming that's the question.
Like lily pad leapfrogging ship to ship.
Yeah, and I actually can think of an example. It's the USS Philadelphia with Captain Stephen Decatur. During the Barbary Wars. So he took over a ship in order to disguise himself because the USS Philadelphia was heavily damaged and then captured by Tripolitan forces. And it was so badly damaged that they basically brought it into the bay of their capital city and used it as a fixed fortification type thing because it was a big ship, had a lot of guns, stuff like that. So Decatur captured a Tripolitan ship, disguised the crew to make it look like they were they were allies who had managed to slip through the blockade that the U.S. was inflicting upon Tripoli at the time. Pretended that they were blockade runners, went through, said hi to the people on the USS Philadelphia, and then boarded that and killed everybody.
Thank you for this historical lesson. I had no idea. Right. I read a little bit about the Barbary Wars in the context of a video recently about whether this country is a Christian nation, because there was a whole treaty at the time that declared we were not a Christian nation.
Tripoli,
yeah. So I didn't know much about the Barbary Wars, and I still don't.
They're really fun. As somebody who was in the Marine Corps, reading about the sort of genesis of the branch has always been fascinating to me.
Yeah, that's why there's the Tripoli reference and all that. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. It's where the term leatherneck comes from, because they used to have to wear leather collars to protect themselves from people who are trying to chop their heads off.
Tim, go for it.
A big problem with the gay couples is they're in a relationship where deviancy is not only tolerated by a partner who acts the same way, but are surrounded by a community that also engages in it. No surprise other types of deviancy is tolerated.
Yeah. Well, the whole problem with all of this is because we have said that love is love, men are women, women are men, they can be substituted in this way, because we've rejected the sign-tapping principle that only the union of man and woman can create new life, and thus it is worthy of special recognition and protection. We have tricked ourselves into believing that there is a right to children. And of course, I believe there is a right to your own children, okay? I have the right to raise my sons, I believe, from, free from the interference of others, within certain constraints. Largely just, I don't have the right to abuse them physically or this kind of stuff. But in general, they are my sons. It is my right to raise them how I see fit. There is no right to children who aren't yours, though. There is no right to kids out there in the ether. And when we talk about the nature of the gay relationship and gay adoption, somehow because we've accepted that two men together is the exact same thing as a man and a woman together, even though it's not, we've accepted this idea that they have a right to kids, much like a husband and wife have a right to the children that they naturally create. But they don't. So we've made children like this kind of commodified thing that we insert into this relationship when in fact they are not the natural product of that relationship. And this is why it's crucially important to get the sign tapping questions about marriage and correct. Because if we don't, and Katie Faust, as I had on the show a few months ago, is such an excellent spokesperson on these matters. If you don't understand that fundamental defining feature of man and woman as being the defining feature, that union being the defining feature of a marriage, because it is uniquely capable of producing new life, all of a sudden life has to be shoved in service to these alternative lifestyles. So as far as how gay couples ought to be treated, like, yeah, all right, you want to live however you want to live, all right, I mean, I'm not trying to like bring the force of the state against you for that, but it doesn't mean that you have some right to kids. And we need to be very careful and clear on that as we decide what our policy with gay adoption and all the rest of it is, surrogacy, IVF, all the stuff that is associated. You guys have any other thoughts on that? Any signs to tap?
Pure agreement.
Okay.
Yeah. No arguments.
You don't have to argue against it, but you know.
We got one more.
Tyler, yeah. Is it my turn? I forget. Yeah, I think so. You read Tim. Oliver Tree died in a helicopter crash 2 days back. I don't know if y'all care, but fascinating how quick it went down.
I'm never getting a helicopter.
It's Oliver Stone, not Oliver Tree. So the filmmaker.
What?
Oliver Stone, the filmmaker. He died in a helicopter crash a couple days ago, and the crash looks very Yeah,
Matt, you didn't know this? You didn't know the legendary director?
What the hell
Oliver
are you guys
Stone?
talking about? What is this trick?
No, a musician named Oliver Tree died in a plane in a helicopter crash.
What?
He's I never listened to his music. I've seen like a few podcast clips of him, but I never really knew him besides that.
What is the Oliver Stone bit though?
Oh, just tricking you.
Oh.
Yeah. For the lulz or some shit. I don't know. It was
fascinating how quick it went down. Is
there any other way?
I mean, I don't know if that itself is a joke about how fast the helicopter crashed or what.
It could be.
The way that it went down was very odd.
Okay.
I know somebody who knows a lot about helicopters, and he basically said that a chopper doesn't go down like that unless something hit it.
So it just like nosedived or something?
Gotcha.
It was like more like it dropped out of the air.
Where did this happen?
I don't know. Was it in like Latin America or some shit, like Brazil or something?
Yeah, it was somewhere in South America, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I saw a headline about this. I didn't look at it at all because I don't know who this guy is either. I've never heard of him before.
He did like Platoon and JFK and.
So I don't know how you define his genre, really. Like I don't know if alternative would describe it.
It's sort of
it's his own thing.
Platoon.
Storified history, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was like young though. What?
He was my age.
He's 32.
Sad. People in the chat are saying two helicopters crashed into each other, which is a detail that explains a lot if they're accurate.
It could be.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Which I did not know that.
Well, I don't know anything about this, so I'm going to refrain from commenting more before I say something completely idiotic.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we are all set. We're good on YouTube and Tippy.
Cool.
And we're good on Rumble. Matt, have a good, highly regarded trip to do highly regarded business things. We'll see you back here a week from Sunday, so you'll have a little break away from the show.
I'm going to miss it.
Enjoy it. All right.
So people are correcting me. Apparently it was not Oliver Stone, so I may have made a mistake. I was under the impression it was actually the film director.
The filmmaker?
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Oh, I was wrong.
Were you not trolling?
No, I was told when I was originally presented with this story. I was no. When I was presented with the story, I was told it was the director. Yeah.
So Batman was
so I was just wrong.
mistaken,
My bad.
sincerely saying something to me that I thought was trolling me, and I was so confused I had no idea what the hell was going on.
So I jumped on the troll.
Apparently I just fucked up really hard.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Oliver Stone is alive and well.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, my bad.
Well, thank you for tuning in tonight. Thanks to our live chatters and super chatters for making the live show a success. If you're listening on demand later, thank you kindly as well for supporting the show. Thanks to our callers and emailers. Thanks to the highly regarded Matt Palumbo and Batman for joining. Thanks to producer Tim for his assistance. Find everything show-related at mattchristiansenmedia.com. I'll be back on Sunday night. See you then.
I just wanted to put a dick in a butt.